try. I'm cold, steel stainless. My glass half full. Always said, don't suffer no fools. Serpents, daydream. I bite, you call me lovely. Got a sweet tooth. I'm gonna get the sugar from you. When they say I'm a machine gun, I take it as a
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to day 3 of the Fall Frenzy, the North American Renegade Cup November monthly, and Nexus Gaming is proud to host this exciting event featuring a $5,000 prize pool sponsored by the wonderful people at Psionics. I am Dazarin, and joined with me is the Pacifist. He's on robot mode today, so we won't let him talk too much as we get this going today. But guys, just to give you a quick breakdown of the format today. The wonderful people at Nexus have called this one Stage 2 Swiss System Turmoil. Definitely, I get the vibe for sure, but just to kind of break it down to you guys, we got 48 teams that have entered in today. The top 32 are going to move on to the top 32 teams record-wise. So whoever has the best record out of all 6 rounds of Swiss are going to move on to the next one. But I believe teams need a bare minimum of only 3 wins to advance to that top 32 team spot. Either way, it's a lot of games. It's going to be very competitive. These are all best of 5s all throughout the night, so it's going to be some good competitive Rocket League for you guys, and I'm just ready to get this first one going, Pacifist.
For sure, man. I'm feeling good tonight. A lot of really good teams have made it through into the round of 48. Now only 32 can advance from this tonight, so I think team's going to be putting forth their best effort forward to try and make it through. Every team wants a shot at that $5,000 prize pool. First place is $1,700, and then so on and so forth down the line. Everyone wants a piece, A
little piece of the pie, a little piece of the pumpkins. I'm talking about pumpkins because the first map's going to be on Farmstead tonight, and the match we have for you guys is going to be Peak Pink against 72 Pin Connector. That Peak name, I'm gonna have so much trouble saying that. That's right.
Peak Pink. But Peak Pink, definitely a strong team to beat. Now 72 Pin Connector, we did see last week. I believe I casted them at some point. I can't remember exactly who they played against, but if I remember correctly, BP67 was actually a really strong player for them. He was kind of like the outstanding guy, the MVP, really putting his team on his back, essentially, and then being that lead man, kind of leading his team to victory. So we'll see if that that story continues today, but definitely looking for a performance from him, as well as the backup from DD and his other teammate as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm ready to get these guys on the lobby so we can get this match going. Pacifist, I don't know if you're ready, but I'm ready, okay?
Oh, man.
And I feel like as we keep going, you're starting to clear up a little bit. You're starting to come back to us. So that's also a fantastic as well. But once these guys join up, we will get this match right on your screen, ladies and gentlemen. And I again really like what Nexus Gaming is doing with these different formats, right? Every stage is like always there's always something new here. You get to the next stage. We had the first one, which was the calls were very interesting to start off, but now these teams getting put into the Swiss system, where I mean we were talking before we even got into it, and we had to basically like break down this entire thing, and they move into the stage 3 to play a round robin format, and it's just like you're going through the ringer here in this fall frenzy.
Yeah, for sure. Now, I'm definitely excited to see a lot of these teams coming out here. You know, Soul Esports, Clappers, like all Upper 90 Esports, a name I recognize, VVV Gaming, Lights Out, like all these guys, man. It's been a minute since I casted. I casted last week for the first time. I don't know if you caught that, Dazrin, but first time in several months. And I'm excited to see these teams again. It's bringing back memories for me. You know, I've been a little busy, kind of in other ventures, but it's good to be back for sure.
That's good. It's good to have you back. We got 72 ping connector and we're waiting on Peak Pink to join before we get this game going, guys. And then we'll have it flashed up on your screen. But kind of talk to me real quick just about like you being able to come back into the RL scene and and what that meant for you, like coming into the Fall Frenzy.
Honestly, like, you know, I got my start with Mythical Esports. I think, you know, for people that know me, know that I used to cast for Mythical Esports, started branching out a little bit. As I say, that looks like we're going to get a lobby reset, so I'm going to back out real quick. But yeah, then started casting for Nexus and Rival, who is, I think they renamed, right? Rival Esports renamed to something else.
No. They were PRL, now they're Rival.
PRL, now Rival. Okay, so, you know, casting for them. And then I branched out into Fortnite. Like, went pro in Fortnite. And now, who was it? Malabite. Malabite actually sent me a message and was like, hey, would you like to cast in Rocket League? I was like, yeah, let's do it. Let's come back to it. You know, I always enjoyed casting Rocket League. Things have kind of, you know, mellowed out for me. I was in the military for 8 years. Left the military to pursue this dream. And, you know, so far things are working out. So it's just, it feels good to be back. And I'm a lot less stressed. We'll just say that. So.
That's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see you back. I'm glad to see you feeling better, and glad to be casting with you tonight for sure. I think people don't really necessarily understand what they're in a treat for today, but again, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun for sure. I mean, especially after we get rid of your robot accent.
Yeah, I mean. Couple issues with that. I've been having that issue with Discord because whenever I stream, I don't have the issue. Usually I just unplug USB or whatever, and then it fixes itself. So if we get a spare moment in the near future, I'll just unplug it and then we'll see if we can fix it. Yep. But the game has been recreated here, and I think we're about to get underway in just a hot second. Sorry about the mic, guys. I'm gonna see if I can fix it in the meantime. Okay.
It's fixing up. You're getting clear. Just keep working with me, guys. It's like the Twitch chat energy. We might have to make some copy pasta. I don't know. We're gonna figure it out, okay? But you know, like again, just to kind of move things back to this fall frenzy, and again, I want to look up real quick. We just got a couple of interesting teams. I mean, we got the Onslaught roster. We got Compadres playing today. Compadres playing with Moses, Astro, and Aeon. Peeps are playing using the roster of what are the Peeps roster? It's Blow, Sajiro, Arsenal, Ajax. Reciprocal as the sub. Soul Esports are going to be playing as well with Bork, Nap, Savvy Seal. Afterthought versus the Clappers is actually a round 1 match, which is pretty good, but that's going to be a Hoxer, Shock, Zolhe. Again, guys who are also just really well known. And kind of like, I guess we can call it now the Renegade scene. You know, we used to call it the bubble scene. I wonder if that could actually be like used as a term now to like describe these players, like Renegade players. Like there's RLCS players, there's Rival Series players, but now we could like start to like give these guys a new name as like Renegade players or something of that sort.
That's something as well. I'm glad you kind of brought that up, and that's something I definitely want to touch on is the fact that Psyonix is putting this on for kind of the lower tier teams, because I remember reading the rules that if you competed in RLCS, you can't compete in this tournament. So this is literally like for the people in the community who haven't quite, made it up to the top yet. This kind of gives you a chance for exposure, a chance to win some good money. And honestly, I'm kind of hoping that Fortnite starts doing that, because right now Fortnite is very exclusive. You have to be a big name to make it in, but like something like this, like anybody can join, anybody can qualify. I mean, we'll see there's still a lot going on in the future for Fortnite, but I'm glad that Psyonix is doing this for the the grinders, people who just haven't had their shot yet.
Yeah, exactly. And the fact that we get these guys in and we can see everyone who's been grinding, because for a long time there was just a time period where there was no weekly tournaments at all. Like it seemed like they had disappeared. Like we're about to disappear, because we're actually about to go to a break for 5 minutes as we get this lobby situation set up. You thought I was gonna go on a tangent. I'm not, guys. Okay, we'll be right back as we sort out some issues. Don't go anywhere. and gentlemen, to the Fall Frenzy. Now we got a game for you. Hopefully, I see everybody in the lobby. It looks like we got the teams in here. We're ready to go. 72 pin connector versus Peak Pink. Oh my God, I can't do a pass. I can't do
Pink.
it.
Just do it fast.
Should I say Pink Pink? I'll just say Pink twice, and
Pink.
maybe we'll figure it out. So you said you saw one of the players, or you've casted one of these players before, correct?
Yeah, I cast a 72 pin connector. Like I said, I can't remember exactly the team that they played against. It's eluding me right now. But BP67 was the player that we're going to be looking out for tonight, and see if he can, put his team on his back like he did previously. I mean, obviously it's a team game. It wasn't all him, but he was kind of the guy that stood out last week. I feel like it'll probably be the same this week. If he pops off, his team pops off. It just kind of works out. Either way, first game of the night, we're going to hop into it. Going to be a best of 5, and we are off to the races here. How you feeling about this one, Dazran?
I'm feeling good, especially after they made us wait this long time. They're going to need to have a show for us tonight, okay? But again, these guys are also playing a little bit earlier than some of the other teams, so much respect to them for that and being the first match of the night. Already we see a lot of aggression from 72 Pink Connector, and it looks like they're off to a pretty quick start with a couple of offensive chances, and it's gonna go in. Your boy BP67 comes up big in the first 30 seconds.
I mean, I said it right. Like this is kind of what happened in the previous series that we casted. 72 Pink Connector, you see there taking the BP67 taking the pass from DD off the ceiling, sending the goal in the first 27 seconds of the game. Kind of what I expected. Their early aggression, getting that first goal gives you that confidence going on in the series and the rest of the game. And we're kind of seeing that now. The aggression off the start, already starting here from the kickoff, and it's on the side of Peak Pink. Thorn out to the center. BP67 back off the backboard. Thorn looking to play it slow, does get it past one. Back into the blue side. Sendril, shot toward Ned. BP67 cannot save it, and Peak Pink will tie things up.
For BP, it looks like he's just a little bit too far forward. He's not at the back post. He's in the center of the net. And Sendril with the shot placement, he sees that. It places a shot behind him. It's a bouncer too. BP67 cannot recover in time, and we are back tied up. 2 goals in the first 30 seconds, but we are equalized between these two teams.
Yeah, just 1 minute in now. Things are going to start to heat up. I mean, this is the first game of the night, right? These guys probably have, they've had their warm-up games, but they haven't been in the tournament yet. As that one, I'm trying to talk here. That one sneaks in. 72 pin connector takes back the lead.
DD coming up big here. It's a good shot, especially because he moves up from that left side of the field and is able to place it behind the defender again. This is the second time now where a defender, again, is just, they sit in the center of the net, not at that back post. And both shots in the last 2 goals have been at that specific back post to where the defender just can't do anything in time. Just got to take a step back, let the ball come to them before they get put in just a tough spot to where they can't save it.
Now back into the action. 1:30 has gone by. Already 3 goals scored. 30 seconds per goal here. BP67 getting another one. And 72 pin connector increases the lead by 1.
I like the team play here. DD, he's off screen, but he gets a nice bump on Thorn, and then Skips needs to come up big, but he realizes he's in a tough spot. He has to make contact with the ball. He cannot do that. So then BP67 gets a good small touch. That's all he needs because Thorn is still recovering from being in the back of that net.
I mean, it's happening, right? It's kind of like what I was talking about before this whole series started is BP67 is just kind of the guy that's always a part of the play. The rotations are fantastic for 72 pin connector. Rotating out, getting a demo like he just did on Skibs. It's just it's looking good for 72 pin connector. As 2 minutes have gone by here, they're up by 2. I would say they're feeling comfortable right now.
Yeah, then plus they got a lot of pressure on Peak Pink, right? They haven't been able to really, they've only gotten 1 shot so far this game, whereas 72 pin have 9 to their 1. So they've been stuck into their own half for the most part. They have not been able to get honestly comfortable at all. They have a goal, so 1 shot, 1 goal, but then again, they're down by 2 as we approach the bottom half of this game. They're gonna need to start really applying some offensive pressure if they want to have a chance to actually tie this up and come back.
Yeah, coordination looking pretty good here as we're passing halftime. Ball on the half of 72 pin connector. Skibbs going up for that one. Going to be contested by BP67. Sendril shot toward net. Saved by Didi. Thorn looking to wrap it back around. Double commit actually going to go in. I thought that was going to go past, but Thorn sends it in. That's narrowing the lead by 1.
Yeah, Thorn coming up big here. Gets that soft touch to bounce it off the back ball right as Sindro comes up on the to redirect and send that in. It's just that soft touch that really stopped the ball from going all the way around the net, sends it straight down, and then Sindro comes through. That's pretty good team coordination. As I say that, they almost concede a goal off of a big whiff into their own end, but that's a great start offensively for Pink. A minute 57 left. We'll see if they can get one more on the board.
Still looking good for 72 pin connector, but Pink is not out of this one yet. Find the ball on the half of 72 pin connector. Didi trying to clear it out. Sendril back on the blue half in the corner. Thorn to Sebinator. Now Skibbs losing possession. Didi to put it back in the corner here. Trying to clear it out of their own half. Sebinator finally taking some control. Can he win the 50-50? No, it's going to go in possession of Sendril. Looking to wrap it back around. Sends it out to center. Looking for Thorn. Going to be deflected back into the corner of 72 pin connector. BP tries to wrap it around. Didi keeping that defensive posture here as we're nearing the 1 minute warning. Pink is still behind by 1. 72 pin connector in the lead.
I tell those names tough.
I said it before, man. I'm telling you.
I said it before we started. It was gonna be tough, but still, yeah, like you said, Pink down by 1. They're making some great strides on offense. They definitely are very creative in the way they set up their own opportunities, and they make some really tight rotations in terms of keeping that offensive pressure. A good shot from Sindro, but too many defenders in the net. That wasn't going. Had no chance of going in. But still, the amount of effort they're putting in offense is paying off. We're starting to see 72 pin connector really tighten up on defense. It's making it even harder for Pink to really get those chances in. You got to see if they can hold it. With 20 seconds left, their amount of chances are starting to dwindle.
Yeah, I mean, you said it. 13 seconds left. It's all or nothing. Pink has one more chance. They have to get out of their own half right now. Still a chance as long as the ball doesn't touch the ground off the backboard. BP67 going to send another one in just to put the nail in the coffin there. And I think that's going to do it for the first game.
Absolutely. Honestly, this is just an example of 72 pin connectors seeing an opportunity and just capitalizing on it all the way. All members of the team were up very quickly to the ball and just completely beat out the Pink members to where they had no chance. They were just too slow getting up to that point. And 72 pin connector, like you said, BP67, MVP of this match, came up big here in game number 1. 3 goals, 6 shots from him, with a total of 12 from the team to the 5 of Pink. And it was a very blue side favor game number 1, as they got those early goals in, Pacifist, and once they were able to do that and get that strong lead, they almost lost it, but they still maintained control, still maintained some offensive pressure, and were able to close it out.
Right, and it's kind of the same story or similar stories last week. Is most of the time when I was casting, what we saw was the team that scored first was the team that ended up clutching out the game. I think there was a couple instances where, that was reversed, but for the most part, it's a higher percentage. When you score that first goal, that's like the confidence. And then from there, it's like, all right, we got this. Let's just maintain this pressure and keep doing what they're doing. And, a couple mistakes on 72 pin connector, but for the most part, they kept it steady. And they kept everything tight, and that that allowed them to clutch out the victory.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, we're getting into this one, and I love game number 2s, especially because it just, no matter what happens in game 1, you come out with the knowledge of whatever had transpired. You lose 7-1, you can still necessarily win game number 2, because again, it's just that reset of everything. You take a little bit of knowledge in of what you've learned here from that game 1, and you get your bearings in from that 5 minutes of playing versus this team, and then you're able to come back and just be the better team than you were that game 1. We'll see whether or not Pink can do that as we get into this one. 72 pin connector, though, already applying some offense there in the first 30.
Oh, nice dribble there by Sendril, but I mean, getting into this game number 2, at least from the first 30 seconds, what I saw is 72 pin connector just looks really comfortable right now. You know, they're going for shots that maybe you wouldn't normally go for if you're not completely warmed up, but they just look warmed up, ready to go. And Peak Pink looking a little bit in shambles there. Like their spread on defense, transitioning to offense, just it seems like a little bit off. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not necessarily the cleanest of offensive transitions. Definitely have just kind of given away possession. They just want to get the ball out of their end.
Exactly.
And that's they're just, once they get that ball out of their zone, then they try to play up. But at that point, they've already given up possession. That one almost found its way into the net. Good save by BP76. But yeah, definitely this isn't a team that is necessarily playing. This sounds weird, but they're not playing together. They're just getting the ball out their end. Let's bang it off the back wall, see what we can do. Versus let's look for that extra infield pass. Let's try to find each other on the field. They haven't been doing too much of that.
Yeah, I'd really like to see some more coordinated touches as we're seeing 72-pin connector do. For the most part, they're just keeping the ball on Peak Pink's half. We see 7-8er sending that into the corner. Not quite the touch he wanted, but turns into a back pass. Didi has a chance. Can he finish it? No, not going to be able to get that second touch. Still dangerous in front of the net of Peak Pink. Thorn to take possession. But as we just talked about, Thorn just kind of sends it with no follow-up. 7-8er out to midfield. Back over to Didi. Popped up. Nobody contesting it. BP looking to get that 50-50. Not able to. We get a long clear. Peak Peak really needed that as the pressure just seems to be mounting here for, 72-pin connector. We just passed halftime. It's a different story than the first game. You know, we're still scoreless. The first game, there was 2 shots in the first minute, or 2 goals in the first minute. But still tied up here, 0-0 past halftime.
Yeah, and as we said, almost a close shot there from 7-8er. That was not going to find the net. And honestly, from both teams, definitely a little bit of just, let's hit the ball away from the other team. No one's really setting up teammates or setting up solo plays. Speaking of solo plays, the man, BP67, comes up big here with a very impressive touch.
Yeah, I mean, he just got that perfect angle to send it back in. I think Skibbs wasn't ready for BP67 to actually get a good touch on the ball, but he gets the perfect touch, sends it in. And here we are. First goal after 3 minutes of gameplay. It's going to be 72-pin connector with the lead. I know they're going to be feeling more comfortable after that. Getting another one on the board would feel pretty good. Now it's on Peak Pink to answer, but Didi with possession takes the pass out to 7-8er. That's actually a save from Thorn. Beautifully read there. For that 1-2 pass, then Thorn with the self-carry. Zendrill with the follow-up off the backboard. 7-8er looking to contest, drops down, but it's going to go wide. BP67 in defense, and then Didi back out to midfield. 7-8er in the corner, looking to wrap it around. Gonna go wide. BP67 keeping the ball on the half of Peak Pink. At this point, it seems like 72-pin connector. Again, they're just looking very comfortable. They're kind of looking for shots, but I don't think they're looking for anything too crazy. They just don't want to make a mistake. 1 minute left to go. Another one would be good, but it's in the court of Peak Pink. They have to make something happen.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct. Peak Pink down by 1. They need to score just to be able to tie it up. That's the thing, though. When you get that first goal inside, it's just now the entire pace of the game changed, which once seemed like an even battleground, now seems like 72-pin connector holding on to a lead, and Peak needing to force the issue. But first, they got to force the ball out their zone. That was a close save, a big double save. There's a savior medal for Skibbs. He had 4 so far this game. 8 from the team total. That's just the amount of pressure that has been put on to Peak Pink by 72-pin. They've just had great control of the ball, able to get this through. 7-8er's gonna shut it down, and 2-0 with 21 seconds left. If you're 72-pin connector, you got to be breathing easy at this point.
Oh, they're feeling good right now. You know, just Didi getting that carry past the defenders. Nobody else was left in net. Just unfortunate touches. I think Thorn was looking for the back pass. Didn't manage to get the touch that he wanted. And now 18 seconds left. It's going to be all up to Peak Pink to try and tie it. But, 10 seconds, I think it's safe to say this one's in the bag.
Yeah, for sure. This clock's going to dwindle down. And Didi looking to see if he can get one more on the board. But Central's going to say no. and already 72 Pink Connector are going to be up in this series 2-0 with an interesting win, to say the least. It definitely wasn't one that was forced. I can't necessarily say this was due to their offensive pressure. It was like a slip, right? We saw a slip from Peak Pink when they were on their own half. Someone that had a missed touch and the ball bounced off the corner. That's when BP67 saw the opportunity to make a very impressive redirect that caught the defense off guard. So it was just him taking advantage of a mistake that had happened in the Peak defense. And Peak Pink, they had to force the issue, but they just were they weren't available, or like they weren't able, I'm sorry, to actually be able to thread this ball downfield. And unfortunately for them, it led to another mistake that led to 72 Pink Connector getting the 2-0 lead with 21 seconds left. Now, for Peak Pink going into this game number 3, it's just all about controlling possession of the ball at this point. We saw it. We pointed it out last game, Pacifist, where there was just, they kept giving away possession. They just boomed it downfield to get the ball out of their zone. Keep in mind, 72 Pink Connector was doing the same thing, but 72 Pink Connector is a faster team, and we've seen that time and time again. So you gotta really work with your teammates and get the ball to your teammates, whether it's infield, off that backboard. But you can't be selfish with it, and you can't give up possession, because we see what happens. You end up having that breakdown, and you get punished for it.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, you touched on it perfectly. The biggest difference we saw on the two teams is, Peak Pink, they did tighten up their defense a little bit more, but offensive transitions was pretty much, let's get the ball out of here. Let's, intentional touches. 72 Pink Connector kind of had the perfect storm of intentional touches and good defense. Peak Pink, better defense, but not intentional touches, giving away possession. That's going to be the difference maker. You have to have intention with your touches. You can't just send it and hope that something comes from it, because, I mean, at this level, the other team's going to punish you.
Right, exactly. I mean, it's one thing getting the ball out of your zone, but just, again, being able to follow up and making sure that, your teammates understand what you're doing with the ball. Like, this isn't like a solo queue rank match. These are teams who have been playing together for a long time, and all it takes is the slight bit of chemistry to give a team an edge, because they're able to work together. They're able to they have that experience playing with each other. Or it just takes a player like BP67. Wait, was it always 67 or was it 76? Oh no, I'm thinking of 72. See, this is sevens, and
I know there's tongue twisters all over the place right now.
Yeah. But I mean, a player like him, right, where you have there's just a slight break in the defense, just one wrong touch goes off of your own board. You think your teammate's gonna come up? No, he says, I could probably shoot this, or like, I can make this touch, and he does. He says, anything you can do, I can do better. Nice redirect shot, gives his team the lead. Now all of a sudden you're feeling all the pressure on you, and then you have to force an issue, or force a mistake, and you can't do it. It's rough. So I mean, 72 Pink Connector, although like from them, I mean, they've played well. They definitely like limited their amount of mistakes, but it's been a similar show for them. They just have players like Seminator and BP67 who can kind of do it by themselves if they need to.
Right. Yeah, 100%. Yep. I mean, at this point though, it's coming down to the wire. Peak Pink has a tough hill to climb. 72 Pink Connector looking very comfortable right now, and going into this last game, best of 5, it's all or nothing. They want to win this game. I mean, sure, they have a lot more games to play for the rest of the night, but getting a couple wins here would be fantastic, and give them a chance to come back and feel more comfortable for the rest of the night.
Yeah, for sure. And I mean,
part of the mental.
Yeah, for them, there's going to be a lot of changes, right? In terms of just, again, how they move up and down the field. Obviously, guys, we got just kind of like a short little like break into the action. We're waiting for one of the players to rejoin the lobby, but while we do that, in terms of Peak Pink, just how far, like how they've been like trying to keep control of the game, right? So we saw, again, in terms of like keeping that possession, instead of just booming that ball downfield, looking for the dribbles, some stronger carries off of the side wall, for example, and really just like making some more infield passes. That's what I want to see for these guys for the most part. 72 pin connector, they've obviously been doing a very great job on their own terms and as well as they've been working, but they have to be careful too, because Pink, they've been able to thread this ball through the defense with their speed, but we'll see whether or not they can come out as we get into this game number 3 now. Keep in mind, it's a best of 5. 72 pin connector are up 2-0, and look at that, DD already trying to make a play happen with a demo, but unfortunately he couldn't get it through. And now we see 72 pin connector trying to thread the ball downfield, and we'll see whether or not they can make something of it as this game is fired up and underway. Oh, that's a close one, and Sevenator is gonna get the first one for 72 pin connector.
I mean, it's the story just retelling itself, right? Like, first 2 games, we see 72 pin connector scoring first, and here we are again in the first 21 seconds this time. But it's going to be Sevenator getting the first goal. I think BP67 got the first goal the last 2 games, if I'm not mistaken. But you know, Sevenator stepping up a little bit. Everyone on 72 pin connector feeling comfortable, and you know, here again, ball in the half of Peak Pink. So, something's got to change here, Dazrin. I don't know if you've been seeing anything different, but based on what we talked about, like, Peak Pink has to do something here. They need to change something.
Yeah, definitely. And, you know, we talked about it a little bit. They got a lot of things to change. Again, 1, just keeping control of the ball. 2, just kind of keeping like a good pace of the game. Right there, you see Central beat out 2 members here. It's a 1v3 situation, but DD, look at that. That great dribble control, gets it past all the defenders, sets it up for Sevenator. He's going to knock it in, and this is exactly what I'm talking about here. Great, just solo play dribble control, ball in front of him at all times, and gets a nice pinch to pass it to his team.
I mean, it was a selfless action as well, because DD could have been, you know, he could have easily messed that up and it could have pinched and gone somewhere else. But he pinches it perfectly, lines it up for his teammate, and, you know, less than 1 minute in, 72 pin connector, again, in the lead here. You know, I want to say that Pink still has a chance, as they definitely do. That was a nice pass play out to the center. Skibbs looking for the shot. Sendril trying the double touch off the backboard. Skibbs still has another chance, but those are the shots you need to make. Those are the opportunities you're really not going to get back. As, you know, a minute and a half has gone by. 72 pin connector. Still looking very strong right now, but Pink is showing a little bit of life on the offensive side.
Yeah, well, until that bump, oh, that's an oof.
Every time.
And that one, I mean, yeah, a pretty solid rotation here. Sindril, although he kind of takes like a wide turn to the ball, because the ball is to the right of Skibbs, and I think he just kind of like zones out there for a second. Something happens, but he ends up bumping the teammate. Obviously, no one in net. DD gonna get one on the board, and yeah, 3-0 in game number 3. If you're Pink, this is not a good start at all.
I mean, it was looking good at first, right? In that previous offensive possession by Pink, but I feel like they may have overstayed their welcome, not rotated. They're a little bit too antsy, which I understand. Like, they want to get one on the board, but at the same time, BP67 sending it out. Just all these intentional touches that we're seeing from 72 pin connector, and it's just not the same from Peak. I sound like a broken record, but I mean that's the story of this series pretty much.
Yeah, we'll see if they can make some of those adjustments. Now 2:40 left here on the clock, and right now Pink have that possession on offense. They're trying to keep it. It gets sent away, and now again BP67, the Sevenator, able to throw that downfield, but a good clear from Central is going to bring it back to midfield. Teams are battling for control, but that demo from BP, well, it was a big one, but look at Thorin. Nice dribble, good control on the ball, gets a flick, gets knocked away. Now he's going to be downfield. We'll see whether or not Skibbs can bring this downfield. I'm liking how the difference, how they're changing the ball, but it's just not enough constant rotation onto it. And it's just been, you know, these guys are getting back and forth here in the midfield. It's good if you're 72 pin, especially if you can get a shot like that from 7-8 on 4-0 with 2 minutes left. This is a big deal if you are Pink. This is rough.
I mean, it was like you were saying, it was looking better from Pink, but it might be too little too late. They might have waited too long to try and change something up because at this point it kind of feels like 72 pin connectors running away with the game. You know, they got 4 goals. They're having fun. You can tell they're having fun because they're just sending it as DD sends another one in. That's 5 with less than 2 minutes left to go.
Yeah, I like the pass from 7-8 too. Like he waits for the ball to touch the wall, then he jumps off to give it that nice arc. And DD reading where that ball's gonna be, and it being placed over the defender's head. He just has a nice shot. Again, very beautiful by him. 5-0. And like you said, 72 pin connector. They're sitting pretty. They're pretty comfortable right now.
Looking good indeed. 1 minute and 43 seconds left to go. DD with possession. I mean, another repeat of story here. 72 pin connector with the aggressive position. They don't want to let up. BP67 shot toward net. Save 7-8er with a follow-up. That's going to be goal number 6.
And that's just good awareness on the field by 7-8er. He rotates after getting the mid boost, and Thorn, if you're gonna clear that ball, you want to clear it towards the sidewall, nowhere out into that box area, because it allows 7-8er to come in and take a shot. And he has all the space, all the power, and to work with. And he's obviously gonna place that in a way that you can't save it. So 6-0, 72 pin connector again, very on form, and they keep it going.
A minute 15 left to go. I think 72 pin connector is they're just gonna try and keep the ball rolling at this point. You know, they can make mistakes here and there. Very difficult to score 6 goals. I mean, they need a goal every 10 seconds. Can it be done? Yes. Will it be done? Probably not. But you know, Peak Pink would like to get at least 1 on the board as the ball gets sent out to midfield. Thorn looking for the doink. Not quite able to connect. Sendril back to Skibbs. Missed by him. And DD out to 7-8er. Back into the orange half. Wrapping around Sendril. Out to midfield. BP67 lining things up for his teammate, but that ball is going to be dropping straight down. Actually, 7-8er. He's going to have a chance. And that's 7-0.
Yeah, then this is 7-8er. He's playing patient, just looking where the ball is. Like, I'm looking from his perspective, and he just sits there in front of the box like, is it going to go left? Is it going to go right? And then once he realizes the defense doesn't have it, it's like him and the defender look each other in the eye, and the defender says, okay, all right, I know what's happening here.
Yeah, just accept it. You know, as you know, DD, why not? Let's give him a hat trick. That's 8 goals.
Yeah, DD, we got to see some points for him. BP67 was taking his sweet time. He said, okay, you know, I got some goals in the rest of the series. Let me share the wealth, share the sugar, and give 7-8er 5 and DD 3 for the grand total of 8. I mean, they got 6 assists in between all of that, so still having that solid teamwork from them. But yeah, if you're 72 picking connector, you can ask for a better game 3.
I mean, this is they're kind of setting the pace for themselves, I think, with this series. Really gaining confidence going on. What do we say? They needed at least 3 games to move on to the round of 32, and they just won 3 games. So they still have 6 more series to play. They're looking pretty comfortable. Going on to their next series.
My bad, pacifist. I said 3
What
games.
happened?
I mean 3 round wins, man. So like this counts as 1 of the 3 out of 6. Yeah. If anyone's confused at home, that's my I'll take full responsibility of that. I'm sorry.
It's a new setup for me. It's a new setup, but now I completely understand. I get it.
Yeah. So for 72 pin connector, they've got their first win. Again, the bare minimum will be 3 for them out of 6 total rounds that we will be showing with you guys tonight. And that'll be good. That'll be good. Obviously, if you are a 72 pin connector fan, you just saw them play. You can follow them in the bracket with ! bracket in chat and see again just how some of these other teams are doing. And guys, we are going to just cut to a short break as we get the next match set up for you guys. Don't go anywhere. This is the Fall Frenzy by Nexus Gaming. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Fall Frenzy, sponsored by Psionics. I am Dazzler, and joined with me is the Pacifist. He's been on and out. I think he's a Transformer, guys, but we'll figure that out later on in the show. It might be from all that Fortnite. But either way, we're going to cast some card ball for you. We got an interesting matchup tonight. We have, I believe the teams are Ohio State on the blue side and University of North Texas on the orange side. Guys, this is still a round one match. We have not moved on to round two yet. You can keep up with what's going on with the show with exclamation point bracket to see where the bracket is and where all the other teams are while you guys watch the game. We're going to still be on Farmstead with this match up, but yeah, we got the North Texas team who got second in the CRL Conference Clash. They're going to go to the LAN in Texas. So it's going to be a pretty exciting show to see them play against the Ohio State roster. I never thought I'd actually be casting some CRL teams and not be on the CRL broadcast, but props to the boys at Nexus Gaming for setting this one up for us. I appreciate it. But as we get into this one, Pacifist, what are your thoughts on these two teams?
Well, my thoughts on the two teams, it's going to be a great match. They've made it this far. I know that the Collegiate Rocket League, they take this game very seriously, just like anybody else. One name that stands out is Alex Storm. I'm not sure if he's playing tonight. As the players are loading in, I'm trying to see if he's here. It's not looking like it, but OS being Onslaught, that's definitely a team I've casted, but it looks like we got Pac. Who do we have here for UNT?
We got David Silverado, D-Bank, and Threes.
Okay. So yeah, Alex Storm was the only one that I recognized. Aside from that, it's going to be kind of a mystery for me. Only time will tell how things go on. I know you mentioned that North Texas got second in the CRL conference, so maybe they're the better team, but who knows? Maybe Ohio State has been practicing a lot. It could be anyone's ball game. Only time will tell as we get in, but it's always nice to see some college teams going at it.
Yeah, for sure. Especially as we get into this one. I mean, I've played against, I've played with actually a couple of these guys in my ranked matches and my quest to be the best. But as we get into this one, I'm definitely giving the edge to the North Texas team, as I will be rooting for them when they play at LAN, especially with that nice home field advantage. Love my Texas people. If you are from chat and from Texas, I love you, even though I'm from Chicago. But enough of that. Let's get into this one. And as I say that, Ohio State get one on the board. Oof.
Yeah, I mean, the first 12 seconds, just a nice full send here. Kings getting that angle, and then Threes. Beautiful touch to drop it in. Ohio State in the first 12 seconds. I mean, you said North Texas. I was going to side with you for Texas because I haven't visited Ohio. I've only been to Texas, and I love Texas. Either way, a quick start here for Ohio State. Let's see if they can continue this lead, or is it going to be answered right back as Too Fast comes flying in. North Texas ties it.
I love Too Fast living up to his name here on this one. David Silverado, though, with a great win on that challenge to set him up for the pass, and he absolutely bangs it into the top left corner. Pacifist and North Texas strike back. I believe they struck back within 12 seconds too. It was a great response.
Is that going to be the story for the rest of the night? Is J-Bob looking for a second touch? Not going to land. Things might equal out here. Let's find out. David Silverado looking for a full send. Going to be deflected as threes going downfield, looking for that demo. Not able to get it. D-Bank with the carry. Gets it past one, past two. Too fast, has a chance. He's going to send it. And North Texas takes the lead.
Looks like they're just starting to warm up in this game. It's a good win from D-Bank. Just gets it past two. And again, Too Fast just beating out threes there. Obviously, the ball's just going right on top of Too Fast. He's just slowly keeping up with it as they know they got that third man back. And he's just able to get there as fast as possible to make the touch he needs to. Again, North Texas taking the lead, but we've got 3 goals, and we're not even done with the first minute. This one might be a shootout for Pacifist.
I mean, you love to see it, right? You know, the shootout is the most fun, the most entertaining. But also, I kind of feel like, based on RLCS, it kind of tells a story is defensively, maybe need to tighten things up, or maybe they're just too good on offense. Who knows? Either way, things looking good for Texas as, you know, might start equalizing here a little bit. Shot toward net by Ohio State. But, you know, I'm kind of feeling for Texas right now. Too fast? Might be a little bit too fast. You know?
Yeah, and then you talk about that as D-Bank. I mean, D-Bank and David Silverado, though, we got to give them props, right, for how well they can play in that midfield. They've been able to just thread the ball down from winning challenge after challenge. But here's Kings trying to force an issue. That's a big demo. J-Bob almost coming up big, but it bounces off the post. Three's trying to keep it into the box, but Too Fast comes up, clears it away while passing it to D-Bank to just get these guys on the offense. Infield pass play coming out, but David Silverado also cannot put it on target. And it looks like Ohio State are going to try to regain possession as they bring the ball to North Texas' side of the field.
I mean, you love to see it. The passing plays that have been coming out already in the first 2 minutes of this game. Those are probably my favorite plays to see is just the passing plays. Let's see if any more of those transpires. David Silverado shot toward net, saved by threes. Ball still in the half of Ohio State. Trying to clear it out. Ohio State is working like a team, though. They are keeping that nice spread. I haven't seen a lot of double commits just yet. They do get the ball out of their own half. Too Fast now taking possession. Nice aerial dribbles. Silverado takes the shot. Gonna go just barely too high. And Ohio State can breathe a sigh of relief on that one as they move the ball back into the half of North Texas.
And they're starting to want to speed things up. Threes was up really early for that one as he knew he had to try to beat out the defense. They're being very careful with how they move downfield with the ball, but it's some slight mistakes here that could cost them a goal. We'll see whether or not those end up happening. Big whiff by threes. J-Bob, he can still keep possession here. He gets it out to the Kings. Talking about threes, he's making his way back to defense, but close opportunity. We got to remember, as close as this game is looking, North Texas are the ones with the lead, and they just extended it by one. Too Fast with the hat trick. He's 3 for 3.
I mean, Too Fast coming in here, all speedy light, gets the shot, past threes. Again, Too Fast for the defense. Beautiful hat trick for him. Now Texas up by 2 with 1 minute and 43 seconds left to go. We have the kickoff underway yet again. D-Bank with Too Fast in tow. Oh, against the mind game on Kings. North Texas takes the lead by 3.
Oh man, this was really good. Sometimes you just gotta let this happen, and just sinks it under him. He says, "You think I'm going high? We're gonna go low here." Jumped just way too early for that one, unfortunately. And D-Bank had a easy, smooth path into the net with that one. Good patience pays off. North Texas up by 3. And they're starting to pull away. There's David Silverado. That was basically a kick-off goal, the way that one worked. Again, right off the corner, bounces up and out, and David Silverado with a nice touch. Ohio State, they're going to have to come in this game, too, differently because they're starting to let this one slip out of their hands.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking real good for North Texas right now, and they need Ohio State needs 4 goals in less than 1.5 minutes. It's going to have to happen pretty quick. They're kind of, stuck on their own half yet again here. Threes back in the corner. David Silverado wrapping it around. D-Bank looking to bully the defense. J-Bob toward the net. Going to go wide. Getting a demo for his troubles. Back in the half of Ohio State. Too Fast out to center. Threes to send it right back. Demo on David Silverado. Ball just kind of hanging out here in midfield. Kings is going to pop it up, but three's not enough send on that one. 43 seconds left to go. North Texas still up by 4. I don't know about you, but I'm kind of feeling North Texas on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm usually confident maybe after like the 3-goal lead, but the 5-1 is pretty convincing in itself. Then again, that being said, J Bob's also going to get one here for his troubles, bring the lead down to 3:24 seconds left. They'd have to do they have to do 3 pretty insane kickoff goals if they wanted to tie this one up. But just to talk about how these two teams are stacked together in CRL, it's just North Texas definitely is the team with the edge here. It's a bigger challenge for Ohio State. I say that as they almost scored again, but still. Maybe it's like some casting curse, because I did this at the beginning of the game. They got scored on at the beginning of the game. I don't know. I'm gonna let this one play out. Obviously, North Texas are gonna be the one to take this game number 1. Ohio State had some strong moments there, but they're gonna need a bit more than strong moments if they want to tie up this series and get into game number 2.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure after Ohio State scored the first goal. I was like, I don't know about University of Texas, but then it's just back to back, too fast, getting the hat trick. And both of his teammates also getting a goal there. 9 shots, 7. So a decent shot ratio, but North Texas clearly hitting their shots, while Ohio State not quite as much coordination, I feel, in this game.
Yeah, definitely seem to have been it's weird because they had some good opportunities, but I feel like there might be like a little bit too much faith in each other. Well, I mean, sometimes that's really good and it helps, but definitely caught a couple of guys just too far forward, expecting to win on the challenge, and then they get put in a tough defensive spot. And North Texas, who have all the momentum making that counterattack, they're going to score that anytime. So it's just more so like making sure if you're that third man for Ohio State, kind of like wait a beat or two before actually getting involved into the play, unless it's coming right back to you. Just a little bit of too much trust in the teammates, and then once they got beat, it was rough. But again, game number 2, it's 0-0 on the scoreline. We'll see whether or not Ohio State can adapt.
Well, already underway here. 10 seconds gone. David Silverado looking to take possession. J-Bob gonna miss that contest. 3's back out to center. And D-Bank on the side, looking to wrap it around on the goal line here. 3's to say no. Too fast out to David Silverado. Back out to Too Fast. D-Bank looking for the team play. 2 players go up for it from the side of North Texas. That could have been a huge mistake. Ohio State not going to be able to capitalize just yet as D-Bank gets back in time. Kings to put it in the corner. Too Fast. Now with the ball, plenty of boost to work with here. Can he get it past the opposing defender, J-Bob? No. Double commit on the offensive side. D-Bank to pass back to his teammate here. Too Fast now in the corner. A minute has gone by here. A little bit of a slower game than the last game. I think we had 2 goals scored in the first minute of gameplay. 2 or 3 goals.
Yeah, it was
but
about 3.
Still scoreless here.
It was 3, and look at this.
Time.
I like this one though. This was nice. So J-Bob again, he gets it past the defenders. David Silverado and Too Fast are on their way back. Too Fast has enough speed to where he could probably send us off to the side, but Kings is smart with this one, and he kind of pops it towards Too Fast because Too Fast is playing the ball where it's at, not where it's going. And then once that ball changes direction, Too Fast actually just ends up helping the ball go into net from the way his car is angled. So it's unfortunate for Too Fast, but it's smart for Kings. And now Ohio State, they hit the lead though in game number 1. They scored in the first 12 seconds. We talked about, but whoa, they're going to shut me down. They got 2 goals, 2-goal lead here for Ohio State as we get into game number 2. And I like the shot here from Kings. Obviously, David Silverado in a tough spot. Too Fast trying to come and save the day, but they both cover the same angle, and that's not where that ball is going. Kings 2 for 2 with 2 assists from J-Bob. Those guys are starting to wake up.
Yeah, it kind of seems like Ohio State, they sped up their game a little bit, even beating out Too Fast, who obviously isn't too fast in this game. But, Ohio State looking much more coordinated. They're faster to the ball in most situations. And North Texas a little bit on the back foot here. Still plenty of gameplay left to go. 3 minutes as I say that. See what happens. Too fast. Shot toward net. It's going to go just barely wide. Still an opportunity of David Silverado. He's going to pop that one off the backboard. And D-Bank with a touch toward Too Fast. Looking for that coordination. I like that they're not just sending the ball. They were looking for each other on those pass plays. There was just nobody available just yet. D-Bank off the back wall now. Not quite able to get the second touch. And J-Bob in a 1v1. Too Fast to pop it back in the corner. Out towards center. Three's looking for the angle. Not quite able to get it. It's going to go wide. Still a chance for Kings. He's going to send it in. And that's Ohio State with a 3-goal lead.
Funny, Too Fast was 3 for 3 last game. He missed his first shot, but 3 for 3 Kings now with 3 assists from his teammates on OSU. They've been setting him up, and he's been knocking it down with the great shot placement that just catches. The North Texas defense shook as they just struggle to honestly adjust to his shot placement. They know where the ball's going. They just can't get there in time, and that's the beauty about it. As OSU look like a completely different team in game
2 minutes and 5 seconds left to go. Some life coming from D-Bank, but it's pretty much him versus 3. As 3's gets a nice self-carry, but David Silverado to say no. Not quite the touch that J-Bob wanted. Offensive pressure mounting here for North Texas. D-Bank to take the shot. Gonna go barely wide. Too Fast with the follow-up. Not able to send it in. David Silverado looking to line something up here, but nothing to show. Kings to pop it out. Too Fast off the backboard. Here's a chance for D-Bank, deflected by 3's. And North Texas has had several opportunities here, but I feel like Ohio State, they've just been thwarting every offensive aggression from North Texas and then answering back with their own aggression.
Yeah, you're speaking of it right now, and it's looking like J-Bobby wants to get one through, but it's going to go wide and out of the way. Yeah, for North Texas, I mean, we talked about how fast they were last game, but they just don't seem to have that same speed, or it just seems as though they've been late to the ball a couple of times, and they look very clunky on defense. They double commit on plays, and the double commits aren't even worth anything. Like they've double committed and gotten scored on all in the same breath. And for them, it's just about cleaning things up on that defense and just being able to get control of the ball so they can play the offense like we've seen. They have really good offense, but the team that's playing the cleaner Rocket League right now is OSU. They've just been able to clear the ball downfield. They see each other. They're able to apply smart pressure to really just put North Texas in a tough spot. And by the time North Texas realizes they're in a tough spot and need to break out, a shot's already going toward net. They have to save it or they're going to get scored on. 30 seconds remaining. And North Texas have been shut out so far in game number 2.
A shutout, definitely. North Texas had a couple opportunities on the previous possession, but Ohio State has just been too good defensively. The infield pass is kind of what I was talking about. Just beautiful execution, but saved by Ohio State. 3 seconds left to go. North Texas would like to put one in, but it's not going to happen. It's going to be 3-0 from Ohio State, and in a commanding fashion. I felt like they were just dominating this whole game.
Absolutely. I mean, you talk about last game. They lost last game 5-2. I believe it was 5-2. For the majority of the game, it was 5-1. And North Texas looked strong. They looked like they were completely informed. And it just seemed as though in this game, too, all the energy and momentum they had in game 1 just was gone. It was like they weren't there. Too Fast, getting beat to the ball. He went 3 for 3 in the first minute. Now he's 0-4. Still trying to get those shots up, but none of them able to get past the defense. You look at the other hand, and OSU completely turned it up. Great possession by them, able to get the ball downfield, made the defense of North Texas look silly while also completely shutting down the offense, making sure that they did not score a goal out of, I want to say maybe it was like 7 shots total from North Texas. And that's a turnaround you want if you're Ohio State. We are tied in the series, ladies and gentlemen, 1-1 as we get into game number 3, and this could go either way. I'm excited.
Well, that's the beautiful thing about Rocket League is as soon as the next game starts, you're off to a clean slate as David Silverado looking for that kickoff goal. Very close to achieving that indeed. Now it's David Silverado back out into the blue half. J-Bob to send it right back. Too Fast. Back to J-Bob. D-Bank to take control. Gonna get past one. Kings to pop it back out to center. David Silverado send it down, looking for his teammate D-Bank. Not quite able to get it. Still out in front of the box. Too fast. Plays it a little bit slower. D-Bank in support. Looking for the pass to David Silverado. Might have been a mistake, though, as Kings looking for the breakaway. Pops out to center. J-Bob over to 3. Shot toward net. It's on target. D-Bank to save it and put it in the corner. D-Bank back downfield. J-Bob over to 3s. As a minute has gone by here, it's been more of a back and forth action as, you know, both teams have had some opportunities, but defensively, as of right now, both teams holding strong.
Yeah, right now this is a battle for control, just to get some offensive control so that both teams can really just start putting on the pressure for towards the other, get some offensive shots in. Possession's been moving back and forth between these two teams, and they're trying to break through each other's defense, but each team's holding the line pretty well. You look at Ohio State, they're getting those infield passes in to break the ball downfield. But if you look at North Texas, they have that third man who's back waiting for those to set it, to really just clear the ball away. And they're starting to play it off the sidewall because they have more control on the ball when they're on the sidewall. If they see someone coming up to defend it, they can just clear it out and turn that into a pass as well. But you're starting to see Ohio State just get a little bit more reads on the ball, and they're slowly trying to get this ball back into North Texas's end for the past, I want to say 30 seconds or so. It's been in the North Texas area. There's 3s he wants to get a shot in, but unable to clear it out, and we might start seeing the start of an offense until Kings lets it slip away.
And North Texas transitioning onto offense, looking for an opportunity. They're not going to get one. Ball back into their own half. As Ohio State back on offense. D-Bank self-carry, has a 1v1 situation, tries to get it past Kings. Gets a demo on the way out. And it's too fast. Looking for that long clear. Gonna find 3s instead. D-Bank now back into the half of Ohio State. Looking for that second touch. Passes out to center, but it's gonna go just a little bit too much wide. D-Bank over to 1.
Oh.
David Silverado does grab a hold of it, and North Texas takes the lead.
And right now that ball was moving so fast, both teams were really just trying to make sure they could get a solid touch just to throw the other one off. This one was North Texas though. Past 4 touches, I believe Ohio State just weren't able to make any contact with the ball, and North Texas were able to play that into their favor. Just the small little taps completely start to throw off a defense that was started to get comfortable, started to almost go on autopilot. And that's all it took was to break the concentration, find a hole, and the extra effort from David Silverado paid off big time as North Texas are able to get the first goal of this game.
Things have evened out for both teams for the most part. North Texas now, I'm sure they're feeling a bit more confident. Ball now on their own half. D-Bank trying to get it out. Going to be 3s to wrap it around. Met by too fast. Getting it past 1. Has enough boost to carry it out towards center. David Silverado to pop it up, but wide of the net. D-Bank keeping the offensive live off the backboard. David Silverado has a chance. It's toward the net. It's going to go in. Kings can't find it, and North Texas is up by 2.
Yep, and you see D-Bank again. Great effort there on the pass, and J-Bob goes up. But for Kings, it's tough because he's trying to react to it. I think he tries to jump, but his wheels are already off, and he just completely loses control of his octane. And like you say, he just can't make that touch to make the clear. 3s, as I say, is able to come in and at least bring that deficit back down to 1 with 1:25 left.
I mean, that's just the nature of quick kickoffs, isn't it? Is sometimes it goes good, sometimes it goes bad. In this case, it went good for Ohio State as they get, one less goal on the board that they have to make, narrowing the lead by 1. Still plenty of time left to go. Ohio State is right back in it with that goal. They just need to get another one here before the time runs out. North Texas looking pretty comfortable right now. David Silverado off to the side, too fast. Beaten by Kings. J-Bob flying far for that one. For another pop-up, David Silverado out to midfield. D-Bank looking for that soft touch to line it up for too fast, but it's going to be a transition back onto offense. Shot toward net. David Silverado can't save it, and it's a tie game.
Props to J-Bob here for the excellent dunk on the play. This one's all off a pinch. Ball bounces up too fast. Actually moved too fast to the ball. to the point where it does not work in his favor. He's not in a place to make a confident, strong challenge on it. And basically, J-Bob hits it off of the side of his Octane and redirects it towards the net. And then you see David Silverado try to make a save, and he just can't do it from where he's at, unfortunately. We're back to a tie game, and life has returned for Ohio State. They could still possibly walk away with a win in game number 3. With 35 seconds left, next goal is going to get a lot of momentum.
Momentum looking like it's shifting for North Texas as they're transitioning onto offense, but a miss by Too Fast might be a big mistake. A whiff by Silverado. Great opportunity right there to put a shot toward net. Might still be a chance, but a double commit, dangerous double commit, as now it's a 2v1. Three's got a chance. He's going to doink it in. Perfect shot. Ohio State takes the lead with 11 seconds left.
Threes with the redirect in traffic. D-Bank is there, and he thinks he has a solid redirect. He thinks Threes isn't going to challenge me. This ball's coming right at me. And Three says, let's try that. Let's test this out. Gets right in front of him, says, you're too slow, and gets a nice redirect. 10 seconds left. The kickoff, Ohio State are able to maintain possession, but it's going back the other way. David Silverado wants to put a shot on net, but he just can't touch the ball. It's gonna hit the ground, and what a turnaround for Ohio State as they get the lead of the series in game number 3.
Again, I was feeling it for Texas for the first, 2-3 minutes of that game, but Ohio State climbed back. They got that one goal, and they were right back in it. Look at the story here, though. 3 shots for North Texas. 2 of them go in. 8 shots for Ohio State, so they were definitely putting on the pressure. They turned things up after they got that first goal, and then to win it in the last 11 seconds, that's fantastically played by Ohio State, and they're looking poised to take the next game if they continue this momentum. Looking pretty good.
Yeah, definitely so. I mean, there were some small mistakes there from North Texas in terms of, and plays that didn't work in their favor that kind of caused Ohio State to get the lead back. But the fact that there was just like that one small break, and Three sees the opportunity, he has to take it. He has to get that redirect in there, and he does. Again, it completely shifts the entire game that North Texas had control of for the most part. They had shut out Ohio State for at least the first half of that game, and the comeback was slow and steady. They scored their first goal with 1:25 left, completely turned the game around. So now they're sitting here on match point. In North Texas, they got some work to do if they want to force a game 5.
Lot of work indeed. It's going to be Ohio State with the possession off the kickoff. Kings with the solo play, gets it past one. Opportunity for threes deflected by Too Fast. Ohio State looking hungry right now to get that first goal. Yet again, it's going to be Kings taking the pass from J-Bob, and Ohio State takes the first goal.
And Ohio State keep that momentum. J-Bob, again, off the ceiling, reads where the defense are. They are all on the sidewall. So all he has to do is pass it out. And to Kings, who's just waiting in front of the net, ball goes right to him. And it's a simple redirect in. Ohio State, again, take the first goal here in game number 4.
24 seconds in. Time ticking away now against North Texas. They really need to get a goal on the board. Start feeling a little bit more comfortable. So double miss comes out. Threes to take the load from his previous teammate. David Silverado out to D-Bank. Shot toward net. Can it be saved? Yes, J-Bob puts it off to the side. Kings downfield. J-Bob looking for the redirect. Can he get the second touch? Looking for it. Not quite. Kings still with an opportunity. We got to put off to the side. Still on the half of North Texas, though. North Texas being stuck in their own half for a majority of this game. A couple of breakout opportunities. But for the most part, Ohio State is just mounting that pressure yet again. J-Bob descended in this time, taking the pass from threes, and that's a 2-goal lead.
And this is like a complete different turnaround from the game number 1 that we had saw. All the momentum and all the pressure is in the possession of Ohio State, and they're just pushing it further and further into the Texas half. 2 goals here within the first minute 15, and again they're still keeping it going just right off the kickoff. And now we got to see North Texas adapt. They just haven't been able to really get in control like they were in game number 1, and I guess it's just from Ohio State speeding it up. But speaking of speedy, Too Fast comes in quick to make sure he can get this goal in.
Finally, an opportunity for North Texas. You see the double commit here from threes and Kings. That leaves the net wide open. D-Bank beating both of the defenders. And then Too Fast will gladly take one of those goals. Not a whole lot of effort to send that one in. Going to be grateful on that one. North Texas finally on the board, though. They need that. 1:30 has gone by. North Texas back on the offense. David Silverado looking for a chance. Not going to be able to grab it. J-Bob and Kings in the corner. David Silverado looking to wrap it back around. D-Bank lurking on the back wall. Gonna be Threes and J-Bob collectively to clear it out downfield. J-Bob gets the second touch. Too fast with the miss, but D-Bank back out towards center. D-Bank with shot toward net. Saved by Threes. Easily saved for him. Wraps it back around. Actually has the angle. Wasn't ready for that one. And now that's another goal for Ohio.
Yep, another goal from Ohio right off of this pinch. Again, this is the second time this series where Too Fast has just been on the wrong side of a challenge. And instead of like actually pushing this ball up, it just speeds off because of how I believe that was Threes. He just has that elevated position on it. So it just pinches off and goes into his own net, unfortunately. And now for North Texas, again, they're in a tough spot. The slow play. See if they can get another one on the board. And that's actually going to pay off. David Silverado getting the goal for that one.
North Texas really needed that one. Too Fast actually doing a lot of work, drawing out both of those defenders. And then David Silverado with the soft touch, almost right into J-Bob, but does manage to send it in. North Texas really needed that one to keep themselves at the same pace of Ohio. Now they need to offset that same pace and keep this momentum going from that previous goal. Nearing halftime here. Another opportunity for North Texas, not going to go in, but still on the half of Ohio State. Threes actually on target. Going to be forcing David Silverado to pop it up. Threes toward the net. Going to go wide. Too Fast with a nice read to send it off to the side. And D-Bank managing to get a bump on the opponent. David Silverado off the backboard. Going to be Too Fast popping it up. Threes and Kings both going up for that one. Dropping straight down. But J-Bob to take possession. 2 minutes left to go here. Ohio State still leading by 1.
Yeah, still able to maintain that lead. Now they're trying to see if they can put on the offense. Threes with a touch. Whoa, J-Bob almost able to read it right there. And Threes actually gets it. I feel like I got googly eyes at this point from watching this ball go back and forth off the post. And Threes says, let me try that. Gets a backflip and gets the bicycle goal. And that's a cutoff for the North Texas momentum because they had some from getting those couple of goals that they scored. Going back to being down by 2 with a lot less time on the clock. It's going to be tough. They got to force the issue and not let a lot of other goals in as it's right in front of the box. And D-Bank and David Silverado work together to clear it away.
At this point, North Texas really needs to put another one on the board to match the pace of Ohio State. Otherwise, Ohio State could run away with it. Kings going to self-carry that one in. No one defensively ready on the side of North Texas, and they're up by 3.
Like you said, no one on the defense ready. I mean, and D-Bank here, he is expecting this one to go up high, but it's like Kings with the soft touch is able to just let it float in and, again, just kind of mind game D-Bank while he's on the wall. And OSU, again, just coming up big here. Still more momentum in their favor. They just have to, again, keep control of this one and basically just not throw the game away at this point.
Keep control indeed. Another opportunity for North Texas. Double commit. David Silverado can send this one in. That's going to be a double commit. Works out in their favor. North Texas narrows the lead by 2.
You know, one thing I said was don't throw the game away. And then there's the double commit on the play. Oh my, okay. Everything's fine. It's fine. We're going to get back into this one. And it's just a big double commit in front of the net. Unfortunately, leaves it wide open. And North Texas are able to get one on the board. With 2 goals in a minute, we'll see whether or not they are up to the task.
Still plenty of time left to go. About 30 seconds per goal if North Texas wants to come back and tie it. Got that 1-minute warning. Kings with a shot toward net. Going to go just barely off the post. North Texas going to breathe a sigh of relief on that one. They're not out of the woods yet, though, as the ball's still in their own half. D-Bank desperately trying to get to that one. Not able to, as a pass over to Threes. Going to go wide. Beautifully set up. J-Bob just wasting time by keeping the ball on the half of North Texas. D-Bank again trying to clear it out, but J-Bob is not letting up. The boost star is really kicking into effect here as Ohio State doesn't want to give North Texas any room to breathe. Back out to midfield. 17 seconds left to go. Kings pops it out for threes. And at this point, it's like Ohio State looks like they're playing keep away. North Texas not able to get out of their own half. 5 seconds left to go. It's looking all but over. D-Bank calling the GGs. That's going to do it. As soon as the ball hits the ground, Ohio State to take the victory.
And what a turnaround, right? They dropped game one. Very dominant, commanding lead from North Texas in the game number one. We even gave them all hype and momentum as a team going into the CRL land that's happening later in Texas. But Ohio State, after game number two had happened, they just completely turned it around. They hit that shutout, I believe, in game number two. And then the amazing redirect from threes with 2 seconds left on the clock at game three. And now we have the game four where they started off early, got a lot of good goals in, and we're just able to keep the pressure, keep the momentum, and just kind of hold North Texas until the end of the match. It was quite the turnaround. And that's just kind of goes into like how the momentum shifts in these RL matches. And it was quite the series to watch.
Yeah, I mean, after the first game, I was really feeling Texas too. I know that you were, but Ohio State they got that momentum in the next game, and then the following game they continued that momentum, and then into this game, Ohio State with a commanding showing for the most part. But before we go to a break, we're about to go to a break to set up the next series. I want to give a quick shout out to our most recent subscriber here. That is going to be Master Shot, subscribing with Twitch Prime. Thank you for the subscription with Twitch Prime. Appreciate all the support that anyone who subscribes to the channel does. Helps us keep the lights on, keeps things rolling here over at Nexus Gaming. And with that, we're going to go to a quick 5-minute break. Don't go anywhere, folks. Much Rocket League to go.
And welcome back to the the fall frenzy. I am Dazarin, and joined with me is the pacifist guys. Just a quick reminder: this is the Renegade Cup North American November monthly, but we like to call it fall frenzy here at Nexus Gaming. We are in the Swiss round number 2, and we got a very good matchup for you guys here on DFH. It's going to be Upper 90 Esports versus the dudes. I'm gonna read off the rosters real quick for you guys. So for the dudes, it's gonna be Ralph, Joe Freshness, Reddles, or Asfura. And for Upper 90 Esports, Democat, Slushy, Skills, and Aunt Jemima. It's Jemima. And, these are teams that I know very well. I know every player, including subs on all the rosters. I don't personally, but I've seen them enough to know how well these guys play. So this is going to be a very tight matchup for sure. And I want to really get into this one because, again, seeing how well either Joe Freshness or Asfura play with Ralph and Reddles is going to be key. And for seeing last time we saw Upper 90 Esports, Slushy didn't play, so I'm hoping to see if he can get on the pitch in this next one. That'll be something. But Skills, great player. Democat, also really good. And just really excited to get this one going, Pacifist.
Yeah, I feel like Democat for me is the one that stands out the most from everyone's I'm seeing here. I know Asfura, again, you mentioned him. Somebody that I've seen play as well, really nutty player. So I think depending on who's going to be on these rosters, as long as Asfura and Democat are in it, it's going to be a fantastic game. Again, like we'll see what happens with whoever's playing here. But I love seeing returning players that I personally have either talked to or casted, and excited to see how far they've grown over these past months. But
yeah.
I think we have just a few seconds, so we hop in here.
Yeah, exactly. Just to like harp on that a bit. Like it's always been really fun just to like kind of watch the other players grow, especially like in the community scene. One of the things I really enjoyed when we were back when like weeklies were like really popping and popular, like a couple years ago, last year, and just again seeing the players that we watched in weeklies like grow to be players. I'm talking about players like Sathu, even Do with the Nose, like all those guys. Now they're playing in the promotion tournament a couple weeks from now to see if they can get into the RLCS, and that's fantastic. So like watch these guys slowly improve over time, and this is just another case of that with these guys competing in the Renegade Cup again. For them, not being able to make the rival series is kind of like their off season, but with this Renegade Cup, it gives them still a next level of competition as they want to just completely like vibe for those top spots and win as many tournaments as they can. So it's all good competition, and it's all good for the player growth, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, and a chance to win a decent amount of money. I think we touched on it earlier: $1,700 for first place, $900 for second, and so on and so forth down the line. Either way, I'm excited to see these two teams battle it out. Upper 90 Esports in the blue, the dudes in the orange, and we are underway here. We see Ralph with the touch on the early game. Joe Freshness and Retails both going for that touch there. Bit of miscommunication. The dudes keeping on the pressure on the half of Upper 90 Esports. Cleared out by Skills. Demo back downfield. Democat getting the demo on Ralph. Joe Freshness looking to wrap it around. Joe Freshness getting the demo on Democat. And Slushy getting past Retail. Skills with a chance. Gonna be Ralph to send it back down to the midfield. Skills with a chance toward net. Saved by Ralph. Democat looking for that angle. Not quite able to get it past the defender. Upper 90 Esports looking a bit jumbled up here. Need to get themselves spread out a little bit more. Maybe rotate back, refresh the boost, and rotate right back in. A minute has gone by here, though. And for the most part, it's been a pretty even back and forth transaction.
Yeah, for the most part, there was a little bit of possession for Upper 90 Esports just in that corner of the dudes. But the dudes have been able to clear it out very well and just kind of keep this, again, even score line game. They're not worried about playing defense on their own half, even if Upper 90 Esports can get some pressure. Slushy with a good shot, but it's off target. So it's going to get cleared right back into midfield where it looks like the dudes want to break away. but they just have not been able to actually break out of their own half just from the pressure that Upper 90 Esports have been putting and just been able to maintain that ball control and find each other and just threat that down. But as I say that, Reynolds, that small break could be the start of what could be the dude's offense if they actually apply pressure.
Double commit by the defense. Going to be Democat to make the save. Towels down to Ralph, but Democat breaks up the pass. Joe Freshness off to the side. Slushy back downfield. Looking to get the ball rolling here. We popped up to mid. Retowels. Shot toward net. Should be saved. Yes, Skills back out into the corner. Down to midfield. Looking for Slushy. Broken up by Ralph. Retowels. Democat with the demo opportunity, but going to be pushed downfield by Ralph. Skills smartly rotating out here. Democat back out to midfield, passing halftime. Still scoreless here in game number 1. Both teams looking very evenly matched so far.
Yeah, definitely so. And Joe Fresh is not in the right spot to really take a shot on that break in the defense that happened in the corner. He was trying to shadow his team in case the ball went the other way. So he could not be able to apply the pressure here. We got Upper 90 Esports though on the offense. At least there's Democat. Slushy trying to get a dunk in, but that's not going to work out. And they got to be able to follow these touches. It's a good touch from Reynolds to Ralph, and Ralph's able to clear it downfield, but the follow-up needs to be there. Otherwise, they just give away possession of Upper 90 Esports, and then we just play this 1-2 back and forth mid-game. This could be a chance if Joe Freshers can get a touch. It's off the backboard, though, and Slushy's able to recover enough in time to send it away.
Number towels toward the net of Upper 90, going to be sent back out. Keeping up the pressure. Here's the dudes. Ralph with a miss, going to force Towels in a 1v1 situation. Shot not quite on target, not quite the shot that Slushy may have wanted. Democat back into the corner. Ralph out to midfield, looking for Joe Freshness. 1-2 pass play, not quite able to connect. Joe Freshness dropping it down. Reynolds back into the corner. Ralph doing the same, looking to pop it back out to his teammate, does just that. Chance for Joe Freshness toward the net. Not quite enough on it, though. Saved by Slushy as we have just passed the 1-minute warning. Still tied up 0-0.
Yeah, still tied up 0-0. Again, just kind of back and forth. Again, most of the momentum here, or the pressure, I'd say, is going towards Upper 90 Esports, especially because they're sitting with 8 shots to 3 from the dudes. That being said, the dudes have been doing good in defense. Democat almost had a slight opportunity there after Slushy had Joe Freshness in a corner. Speaking of which, he almost got a shot, but Reynolds able to just get a good read on that ball. And that's kind of like the name of the game. Both these teams are full of good players, as Reynolds, again, epic save in the corner. And the defense from the dudes just as good as the offense from Upper 90. That's why we've been sitting at a 0-0 scoreline. Pass downfield to Ralph. Skills with the pop-up. Joe Freshness trying to thread this downfield. But once this ball hits the ground, we could be seeing an OT. It's going to do it. And in game 1, we already have an overtime between these two teams.
Yeah, and it's our first overtime of the night. And, I mean, you touched on it for sure. It's still tied up 0-0 after 5 minutes of gameplay. I think that says a lot about both of these teams. Very evenly matched so far. They're taking their shots and they're backing up, rotating correctly. But it's going to be now on the side of Upper 90. The dude's looking for a chance here to put something on the board. Reynolds, not much happening with that action. Joe Freshness back out to midfield. Skills to keep the ball in play. Does get another touch. Pass to Slushy. Shot toward net. Saved barely by Joe Freshness. Upper 90 Esports going to rotate back onto defense. Chance here for the dudes. Joe Freshness getting a demo on Skills. Reynolds back into the half of Upper 90. Shot toward net, saved by Ralph. As we're about a minute in here in overtime, still tied up 0-0.
Yeah, you see Reynolds trying to find Ralph. Oh, that almost turned. That pass attempt almost turned into a pass play for Upper 90 Esports. As Slushy tried to find Skills into a shot. One beat, but Joe Fresh is able to make a save. And that's what I like about both these teams. They're able to make quick, instant decisions once they see that the teammates or like the entire team is put into a bad spot, to just kind of buy the other teammate a second. Like, it's gonna take more than one small mistake for either team to concede a goal. As this overtime, again, we've said it time and time again, 0-0 after a while. Whoa, that's set right in the center. Slushy with a quick shot, but Ralph able to make the save. Clear it out back to midfield. And with that touch from Reynolds, it clears away the danger for now.
Yeah, the dudes switching back onto offense. Shot toward net, barely too high. It's not over yet as Ralph looking to keep the ball in play, but it looks like it might be time to back off here, reset on some boost. But no, Joe Freshness toward the net, gonna go barely too high. Slushy to clear it out, met by Reynolds. Skills over to Democat, looking for the pass, not quite connecting. It'll be up to him to clear it out now. Toward the net of the dudes, put off to the side in the corner, Ralph downfield. Democat out to center, Joe Freshness. Back over to Ralph, Skills back into the half of the dudes. Reynolds with possession. Popped up for Joe Freshness, looking for Reynolds out to the midfield, has a chance, gonna be a miss. Skills reads the shot, was looking for the shot from Reynolds, but still scoreless. 2.5 minutes in, this is just back and forth, constant action.
Yeah, really back and forth where, you know, just the slightest mistake might have you on your toes is what I like about watching these teams. And it's, again, we've seen opportunities from both sides, but the defense has always been there to make that save. They always have that third man back. I think for the dudes, they just really got to get more physical and aggressive, see if they can make some bump plays happen to start throwing them off. Here's Joe Freshness with a pop-up. Ralph could turn this into something. He gets past Skills, and Ralph is going to do it, and the dudes are going to take game one.
Beautiful shot here. Finally, mistake comes out. Skills kind of hesitated on that contest. Maybe it was the right move. Either way, popped up perfectly for Ralph. Ralph sends it in with just the perfect velocity, and the dudes coming away with the 1-goal victory in 3 minutes of overtime. What a game. And that's only game number 1. That's about 2.5 games played already, and we're only game number 1 in.
Yeah, that's really good for both these teams. And it just has to do with, like, Joe Freshness kind of being in the right place at the right time to set up the assist for Ralph. Like, Reynolds gets a good pinch, and it pinches off the ceiling. Right on top of Joe Freshness' hood, Skills is trying to adapt, but he's facing his own net. It's really hard to make a turnaround, and he's thinking about all the possibilities while Ralph just sees the shot opportunity. And Skills, at that point, he had to guess in order to make a save, and he just guessed wrong. But Upper 90 Esports, for the majority of that game number 1, had a lot of, like, offensive pressure. They outshot the dudes 14 to 6. But the dudes were able to save majority of that, and all it took was just that one break where Skills was just in no man's land. There was nothing he could do, and Ralph was able to send it home. And I mean, if that's the course we're taking for this series, everyone might want to buckle up because we're in for a ride.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't even call that a mistake on the side of Skills. That was just, like, you know, positioning, rotating. That's just where he was at on the rotation. Not necessarily his fault. That's just the cards he was dealt. You said it. He had to guess, and unfortunately guessed wrong. It's just unfortunate for Upper 90. They played a great game, but the dudes came out on top. Still anyone's ball game here, though, as we get into game number 2. The dudes versus Upper 90 Esports. Already off the bat, Reynolds off the backboard. Ralph looking to get the second touch, drops it down, gets the angle, double touch, and the dudes off to a 1-goal lead in the first 9 seconds.
And all it took was 1 goal, and they immediately got the momentum. What a double touch from Ralph. Obviously, the defense was not expecting it, but he has all the hype going for him after scoring the game winner in game number 1, and he's carrying it forward into the next game.
13 seconds gone. The dudes looking to widen their lead here. Going to be up to Democat to clear it out, but no. Reynolds looking for the read off the backboard. Awkward position here. Skills and Slushy both committing to try and clear that ball out. Going to be Democat to clear it out finally. Also getting the demo on Joe Freshness. Skills looking to get a second touch. Drops it down, but no one there to follow it up. Democat toward net. Saved by Ralph. And Reynolds to clear it into the blue half. Cleared immediately back by Democat, and Ralph out to midfield. Finds Reynolds to wrap it around. Democat over to Slushy. Now Reddles back out to midfield. Looking for Ralph, gonna pop it up. Slushy to take possession. Very, very fast first 9 seconds, but it seems like we're back into the previous game where it's kind of just that back and forth action. Both teams kind of, settling in here as the game goes on.
Absolutely, and I was gonna say, wow, no! You don't want to do that, Ralph. Oh, this is
Not like this.
Skills with a good touch. Democat with the demo, and Slushy jumps up to get the read. Ralphie just wants to bump him out the way. He's like, okay, you're the only thing stopping this ball from going. Let me just move. And he pushes him in front of the ball and helps Slushy score. Slushy, there's a moment of confusion, but there's definitely a we take those vibe coming from that. Oh, Skills, can he get that one? No, it's off the bar. And Upper 90 Esports tried to have a quick counterattack to take the lead, but they just weren't able to close out.
It was almost perfect placement, just a little bit too high. Now the dude's on the counterattack. Chance for Reddles to send one in. Gonna be saved by Skills. Slushy out to Skills to clear it fully into the dude's half. Ralph getting the demo on Slushy. Reddles now into the half of Upper 90. Democat to clear it back out, and then Ralph to send it back in. Joe Freshness. Missed by Reddles. Gonna be Slushy. Ralph to win the possession. Democat pops it up. Skills has to clear it. He's not able to touch it, and Joe Freshness gets the touch he needs to give dudes the lead.
This is a good job here from Joe Freshness. He knows his ball's coming towards him, but he just gets up like a split second before Skills does. And then he has to read on the ball, and all it takes is just for him to have that higher elevation, gets to touch first, and Skills only has to watch as that goes over his head.
Cat looking to line something up for his team. Joe Freshness gonna say no. Takes the ball into his own hands, looking to wrap it around for Ralph, who's gonna pop it straight down. Chance for Reynolds here, but Slushy to save it. Getting just the right touch he needed. Democat back downfield. Gonna meet Joe. Skills back into the corner. Ralph wrapping it around. Chance for Reynolds, gonna be saved by Democat. High-speed action here from the dudes, really putting on the pressure of Upper 90. 2 minutes left to go. Upper 90 needs to answer back quickly here. Otherwise, the dudes could end up running away with the game.
Yeah, and you can see Upper 90, like that was just a quick double commit whiff on the ball for Upper 90. Luckily for them, they did not get punished by the dudes. They're still able to maintain control, but you can start to see them getting a little bit antsy onto ball as they just want to get there as quickly as possible, especially if you're sitting like Skills, who got beat to the point where that loss of a challenge cost them the lead. So now just looking to get speedy and get to the ball a lot faster, see if they can force a mistake. They have to be careful though, because that is what led to them essentially dropping a goal. So 1:16 left. It's just all about being fast and maintaining control at the same time. It's tough.
Democat getting a demo on Reddles on his rotation out. Ball dangerously in front of the net. Gonna go wide here and unpunished. Chance for Slushy. Gonna miss. Would have been a great opportunity to put some pressure on the net of the dudes, but Ralph takes it downfield. Uncontested ball in the corner. Slushy to take possession. Out to midfield. Skills to send it down. Looking for Slushy. Gonna get bumped by Joe in midair. Popped out now. Democat gonna back off that one. Back toward the net. Skills is up for it. Ralph has to make the touch, and he does. Skills was lurking, ready for the miss. Not over yet, though. Democat out to Skills, who's got the shot. Gonna tie the game, and 24 seconds left to go.
And like you said, it's not over yet. And Democat, again, he just bangs it off that side wall. Once you have possession, once you get that cleared, there needs to be an immediate follow-up, especially if you have the lead. You want to get that ball out of your zone, and they just were not able to do that. Democat says, we're going to follow it up. We're going to keep this pressure. And with 20 seconds left here in Game 2, we could possibly be seeing yet another overtime pass of this.
Definitely potential overtime. Don't want to say anything yet, though, until 10 seconds have gone by. Reddles wants to close out this game. Democat going to say no. Now popped up, 1 second left to go. Shot toward net. Can it be finished? Joe Freshness with the shot. Gonna be a miss as it hits the ground. And we are into overtime for the second game in a row.
And imagine if they had just a 1 extra second on the clock. That would have been the game winner there for Joe Freshness at the last second. The ball bounced down. And now we're sitting here 2 overtimes, 2 games. And Upper 90 Esports need a win if they want to equalize the series. But the dudes are looking to try to see if they can get that 2-1 lead as they are applying the pressure currently.
Is it going to be another 3-minute overtime, or is somebody going to be a hero and close it out a little bit quicker? 37 seconds have already gone by as we're seeing the back and forth action kick in yet again. Democat from Reddles. Reddles back down into the blue half. Skills to take possession. Democat out to midfield, forcing Joe to make a touch. Gonna find Skills instead. Looking to using all his boost to try and get that second touch. Demo for the net. This could be dangerous here, but no, it's gonna go wide. Slushy back into the corner. Ralph to get it past one. Gonna be Democat in the follow. And Skills to pop it back up. 1 minute and 15 seconds has gone by. Still tied up here in overtime. Looking really good for both sides.
Yeah, for sure. Especially since there have been a solid amount of opportunities. Right now, the dudes have been the main team with possession. Ooh, that was a banger from Rattles, but Skills with an even better save to give him his savior medal. And again, the dudes slowly just starting to pick at the wall the Upper 90 Esports have built. Obviously, Upper 90 Esports, again, they've made opportunities to get this ball back downfield. Joe Freshness almost found a hole in the defense off of the demo from Reddles, but Skills gonna maintain control, seeing if he can knock this one away. Still a lot of pressure, though, from the dudes at the moment, and Upper 90 Esports are in a tough spot in their own end. Democat needs to come up big there, and the touch to the sidewall stops it for now. They still have not been able to clear the ball, though, passers.
Yeah, it's in a dangerous spot right now. Democat looking to make the touch. Very soft touch. Gonna send it right out to Joe Freshness, who's gonna close out this overtime with another win from the dude.
Yeah, and this one was a panic. So you have Democat in his own end, but there's no one pressuring the ball. If anything, they're waiting for that touch from anyone from Upper 90 Esports. They're giving them all the space that they need. It's just they see that ball in front of their net. They don't want it to be there a second longer, but that's not the touch to make. If there is, then you need to have someone immediately follow that up. And no one was there to do that. So Joe Freshness just takes a high shot into the net, and he's obviously gonna just bang that one in. So the dudes are able to take that 2-1 lead. 2-0 lead in the series now. With a big mistake from Upper 90 Esports. Now they got that weight coming down on them going into this one. It's not looking good.
Yeah, not looking good indeed. I was really feeling the dudes on that one. Excuse me, not the dudes. Apologize, my game just crashed, so I'm a little bit out of sorts here. But I was really feeling Upper 90 for the most part of that game until we got into overtime. I was like, they're going to come back, but the dudes able to close it out effectively.
Yeah, and speaking of which, the dudes are able to open up this game 3 with some style here. I mean, Ralph comes off of the sidewall, sends it center, and Reynolds just meets him midfield, and it's a great 1-2 pass play off of the wall. Already the dudes getting the first goal, 1 minute and 52 seconds left in this one, and it looks like they're going for a fake kickoff. Tries to send it to Joe Freshness. Joe with the carry, wants to set it center for Ralph, but Skills is able to knock it away. Now we have him coming up and playing the slow play, but Ralph able to take control of this one, trying to get a dribble downfield, but Slushy's there. Joe Freshness gets dunked by Democat, and the ball is in the dude's corner. There's Ralph now, sending it back into the Upper 90 Esports corner. Democat taking it off his own back wall. Ralph popping it into the corner where Skills is waiting. No immediate clear, and Reynolds is trying to pass it off the backboard. Slushy's there to send it back downfield. Ralph able to pop it up. There's Joe Freshness looking for a pass, but Slushy's able to intercept. And though you missed the goal pass, but you didn't miss much. So far, these teams are still battling for possession here in the midfield.
So the dudes now looking like they're back in it. Yet again, similar storyline to the previous 2 games. Upper 90 a little bit on the back foot, but what was it? Was it a kickoff goal at the start? I missed it. I was trying to reload.
No, they had a quick pass play at the start. It was a nice one from Ralph to Reynolds. To start this one off, and he just hit it midfield. Then they tried to go for a fake kickoff, but didn't work out the way they thought it would. Now they're just been slowly just trying to get back into this one. They're still keeping that good offensive pressure as this one looks like an opportunity, and Ralph's gonna knock it down off the pass from Reynolds. He said, "Thank you for the pass earlier. Let me return the favor here with this nice aggressive play."
I mean, the dudes at this point, it just looks like they're feeling it, just wrapping it around. You really have to defend your backboard in those situations. That's not going to happen as the dudes now with 2 on the board. Still plenty of gameplay left to go, though. I'd like to see Upper 90 show some more life as time is going to go on. It's going to be Democat on the side of the dude. Now it's just a matter of doing it all over again. Minute and 30 seconds left to go. Transactions here. Ralph on the offensive side. Reynolds out to midfield. Joe Freshness toward the net. Can it get the angle? Looking for the second touch. Not quite able to get it. Potential breakaway here for Skills. Can he get it past Reynolds? No. Ralph backing up his teammate. Democat 1v1 situation. Not able to get it past Joe Freshness. We're nearing that minute mark. It's looking dangerous. And the pressure is mounting for Upper 90 Esports. They need one now, and they need it soon.
They do, and Upper 90, they're slushy, but it's off the corner. Democat with the touch, and it throws off the defense just enough. And Upper 90 Esports are able to equalize with 50 seconds left.
I mean, this is just mounting pressure. Upper 90 putting on the pressure that they needed to put on in the final minute of gameplay, tying it up here. But is it going to equalize there? Who's going to score in the next 50 seconds, or are we going to see another overtime? Reynolds with the kickoff out to Skills. Met by Joe Freshness, looking to wrap it around. Going to be slushy in the corner. Ralph popping it up to keep away possession from Upper 90. Skills with the clear. Back into the corner is Reynolds. Joe Freshness to take control. Gets it past 1. That's going to be a long clear into the blue half. Democat actually has to race back to get the touch on that one. Ralph out to center. Reynolds. Not quite the touch that Democat may have wanted. Joe Freshness has a chance for the second touch. Going to go wide into the corner. 5 seconds left to go. Might be another overtime. Reynolds back into the corner. That's going to touch the ground. We got overtime 3 games in a row.
3 for 3 in the OT. We'll see whether or not the dudes are going to be 3 for 3 in winning in OT as we get this one underway. Already an early pressure from Ralph. Reynolds off the backboard. Joe Freshness with the shot. Skills with the save, but Reynolds with another shot. And I think we answered that question in about 12 seconds. The dudes 3 for 3 in OT against Upper 90 Esports, and they're going to take the win of the series.
Very quick overtime, not quite what I was expecting, but as soon as I saw the shot after shot, I knew at some point it was going to break. But the dudes with a very strong showing, granted the score line wasn't very wide, but either way, I kind of feel like the dudes were stronger in each and every one of these games, much more put together. Shout out to them for making things run as smoothly as possible. But man, again, Democat, what I remember from Democat is maybe he's, in twos, he was always the guy that was getting the demos, hence the name Democat. And I didn't see as many demos from him, so maybe that was part of it. But again, this is threes. Either way, shout out to the dudes. Fantastic job. And they're going to be moving on. I think, is that win number 2 for them in the series?
I'll
have to check round 1. Yeah.
Yeah. That's win number 2 for the dudes. They were both 1-0 going into this one.
Okay. So they're, the dudes now 2-0, looking really good. They just have to win one more, and that could potentially secure them into the top 32 for next.
Yeah. For the next stage, at least for stage 3 with the round robin phase. But guys, that's gonna be it for Pacifist and I. This was a pleasure, Pacifist, obviously being here with you. It was fantastic. I had a great time. I hope you did as well.
Always a good time.
And there was really good games, guys. Don't go anywhere. We're gonna swap out, bring in, I believe, Vaudable and Sniper Eagle Eye. And guys, again, this is the Fall Frenzy by Nexus Gaming. We'll be right back.
Stars, we're dancing in the light. Future we will never run. Dirt on our feet was bone dry. It was bone dry. Thought another goal is all we needed. Taking second chances till we bleed. And when all the love had been depleted, we had but no choice to concede. As the stars were dancing in their line, past that we could never run. Oh, they were dancing way up high. Stars were dancing in their line. Future we will never run. Dirt on our feet was bone dry. It was bone dry.
Go on, myself. I'm cold, steel stainless. My glass half full. Always said, don't suffer no fools. Serpents, daydream. I bite, you call me lovely. Got a sweet tooth. I'm gonna get the sugar from you. When they say I'm a machine gun, I take it as a compliment. Honey, the night. The city lights are dancing, slowly falling apart. The shadows causing an outbreak. I'm wishing upon a star. This time I'm feeling stronger, and I know I can do better. The shadows causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the lights on. Open your eyes and see the people chanting, slowly falling apart. The silence causing an earthquake. I'm wishing upon a star. This time I'm feeling higher, and I know I can be taller. Shadows causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the light. We're gonna light it up, oh, light it up, ooh, light it up, causing an outbreak. I'm turning the lights on.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second half of Day 1 Swiss System Turmoil here in Fall Frenzy, the North American Renegade Cup Monthly. My name is Sniper Gus, despite what everyone else in Moobot is telling you, and I'm joined tonight by the wonderful Vodable. Vod, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty amazing, man. So excited to get into the Swiss System Turmoil for the Fall Frenzy North American Renegade Cup Monthly. Mouthful to say, but it's going to be a great experience for everyone to enjoy. We've had some awesome matches so far, but we got another great one lined up in the second round of the Swiss System. Why don't you tell us the two teams we have that are going to be competing to try and improve their scoring so far?
So we're sticking in the upper half of the Swiss system with the Garbage Men and the Snakes, 2 teams that won in the first round. So they'll be competing to, hold on to their perfect records. The Garbage Men made up of Jit, Brendan, Deck XP, and Perma, which is a pretty good roster. And then the Snakes are Taroko, Communism, Austin, and Vanderray. And I mean, you kind of lose a little bit of points when you're dragging Communism along. I don't know Communism as a player. That's totally a joke.
I honestly don't know that
Taroko and
player
Austin,
either.
good players. So we're in for a really good matchup. This is going to be really fun.
Yeah, it's going to be great to see how these 2 teams face off against each other. Both of them currently 1-0, so we'll see which one goes up 2-0 and only needs 1 more win to move on to the next stage of Fall Frenzy. And the other one that's going to have to work a little bit harder to try and make it as far as possible into this this monthly system that we have constructed for Fall Frenzy.
Yep, and so if you're not familiar, the way the Swiss system works is that at each round, you get half the teams from the first round won their games and half didn't. So all the 1-0 teams are going to play and all the 0-0 teams are going to play. And we're going to continue in that style until we've ranked all of the teams. The top 32 get to move on to stage 3, which will be a group play. So the way this works out, because of the number of participants, 48 and 6 rounds, you have to win 3 matches if you want to move into next week.
Yeah, and hopefully the teams that we've seen so far, University of North Texas, kind of struggled a little bit so far, and they actually lost their other match that happened in the second round, to give you guys a little update on what happened with some of the other teams. But we have some great matches. You guys can follow along with all the action with !bracket in the chat. And we're going to be going to DFH Stadium for the first game of this best of 5 series to see how these 2 different teams fare, the Snakes and the Garbage Men. Do you have any blanket predictions that probably don't mean too much at this stage that you want to make, Sniper?
I mean, just from experience, everything I've ever seen of Taroko competing in Nexus events makes me think that he's always a likely person to win his series. It's very rare that you get him in front of the streamed audience and he steps on himself. He is a very calm and collected player. He is in the lobby, joined by Austin as well, another really good player. So there's a lot of good potential there on the side of the Snakes. Garbage Men also.
Snakes have high stakes, you could say.
They do have high stakes. Yep, that was terrible. The Snakes not coming out with Deck XP, the one player I do recognize from their roster. So a little bit more of a question mark. So from knowledge, I've got to say Garbage Men are the team that I'm going to be most interested in. But Snakes, I don't know all of the players. So if the Snakes come out and just stomp on it, that's the thing that could happen.
True. And quick correction there. It's Deck XP is actually on the Garbage Men, but he's not playing this time instead of the Snakes.
Gotcha.
So
yep.
We'll just see whenever these teams, actually, as soon as I said that, they join their respective sides of the field. We're getting underway with game number 1 of this best of 5 between the Snakes and the Garbage Men. We listed out all the players on the roster for now. It's all going to come down to how they face against each other on the pitch in DFH Stadium for this first game of the best of 5. 5 minutes on the clock as per usual. And we get underway with the opening kickoff. The touch goes wide. Jit with a good one to set up his teammate and gets centered right towards him off the bat. Does get knocked away towards their side. Now there's an offensive attack in the making by Communism. As Perma lose that 50-50. Austin with a great touch, but couldn't get the follow-up. Unfortunate bounce off the corner, but Perma didn't get the follow-through he needed. As there's another opportunity for the Garbage Men to take advantage. Gets launched straight towards their side. Perma with the follow-up, a great block on that as well. Communism hitting that towards the back wall. Will drop down right in front of him. Taroko. Good reception on that ball to try and keep it out of their side, but not for too long. Taroko again on the defense, knocking that away.
Both teams not being shy about their rotations here. Sometimes you get game one starts off a little bit timid. These two teams definitely going after each other, taking some risks, but the rotations are solid on both sides, and so no real potent opportunities coming through just yet. Look for the team that gets creative to probably be the one to put the first goal in the net.
As you mentioned, trying to see more and more of that creativeness out of the Snakes. So they're going for unorthodox angles off the side instead of just setting themselves up in the center. A great touch towards the back wall, but not really on target for anything worthwhile. Still stuck in the side of the Snakes. It does get launched towards the end of the Garbage Men. Austin off the back wall. There's a touch by Taroko dropping it down, but he can't get the secure he wants. So we're still at 0-0 and approaching halftime.
It was a good opportunity for Communism there, but he just couldn't get up for it in time to actually challenge that clearance and make a shot on net. But we've seen a lot more pressure out of the Snakes, even though it's not showing in the shot totals, which are tied at 1-1. The Snakes have a lot more control over this ball. Taroko just missing wide to the left. That was a beautiful opportunity, probably the best one we've had halfway through this game.
Now we've had plenty of shots on either end of the pitch. 3 so far for the Snakes, 2 for the... Okay, make that another one for the Garbage Men. Jit sneaking that by the defense.
Yeah, a very unexpected touch from Brendan in the corner allows Perma to beat Taroko up to that ball, and it just threw the rotations of the Snake off just enough that the Garbage Men were able to sneak a very nice shot in there. We approach the halftime, and Garbage Men in the lead off a really good attempt that is a bit of a surprise, so we'll have to see what the Snakes do to combat that.
Now Perma didn't really do much of his opportunity off that wall, but Brendan keeps it in play for a moment. Does get launched towards the other side. Nobody in position to take advantage of that potential counterattack. Austin delaying the play in the midfield. Taroko can't get the touch he wants and is forced to back off on this one. A great touch by Perma, bouncing that over top, and oh no, off the crossbar and out. They still can't secure this one and want to extend that 2-goal lead so desperately, throwing everything they have at the ball, but nothing is sticking.
Speaking of nothing sticking, we're seeing a lot of the Snakes trying to just make something happen in almost a bit of a panic, and they're missing a lot of their touches. And so the possession game definitely swung in favor of the Garbage Men lately, and that's going to bode well for them. A 1-goal lead is very tenuous. If they can hold on to the ball, they should be able to find another hole in that defense.
Oh!
And expand the lead, but not if Communism has anything to say about it. Would you see their bottom goal?
Yep, Communism sneaking through the defense. A great setup by Austin, and then he's able to just get the reception to the right side, right past both defenders, and secure the tie game. They were vying for that opportunity so many times before, but eventually they are able to capitalize on it and secure the goal. Now they just need one more after that, and we might get it. Austin, a great save though by Jit inside the net itself, knocking the ball out of it to keep things at an even score.
Yep, and less of that kind of panic mode now that the Snakes have tied it up. We're seeing them striking the ball with a little more confidence and intention, and that's going to bode well for them as long as they can continue to keep doing that, keep the pressure up, and really claw their way back into this possession game. They're going to continue to make it tight. Communism off the backboard. Austin, not there in time.
Now we have an opportunity for Brendan. Didn't really get a touch at all on that one, so that's a back off. Go for another pass. Perma trying to, oh my goodness. You're right to gas there for a second. Could have been the goal they needed to get the lead. Austin putting on the pressure towards this back wall defense. Still can't get the secure. 17 seconds now for these teams as Communism will take it down the field, but does get knocked away by Perma. Taroko off the back wall past one attacker. Can't sneak past Brendan. So there's another booming shot. Jit gets in the way of that one. 2 seconds now. So we're about to go into overtime unless they get a last second goal, but we get just that.
And this is now 4 consecutive overtimes we've had here on the stream. All 3 games last series going to OT, and now game 1 as well. And I think this is going to be a fitting conclusion to game 1. We saw a lot of even back and forth for the first couple of minutes, and then Garbage Men strike first, and then the Snakes climb their way back into this thing. So going to overtime is fitting, and it comes back to who's going to get really creative or find the small holes in the defense that are sometimes the only windows you have to score.
Yeah, especially aiming for that upper 90 as well. Yeah, plenty of demos coming out on either side. Communism, though, taking it down almost by himself, setting up Taroko. Gets demoed at the end, but doesn't matter. They secure the victory after 40 seconds of overtime.
Sometimes you have to put your body on the line for the shot there, and Taroko knew that he had time to take that touch, so he doesn't have to worry about the demolition messing up a defensive rotation. The opportunity was there. Take it, put it in the net, and get out of here with a game 1 win. Snakes, probably the team I thought would be the favorite going into this, taking a tenuous game 1 win. The Garbage Men definitely going to look to come out and do a little bit more with their ball control in game 2.
Do some more cleanup action and then maybe get in the lead at the beginning of the next game, because this time they were down for such a long amount of time, and the Snakes able to get back in the end at overtime after 40 seconds. The great setup by Communism and Taroko. Communism was the one who is the main striker from what I saw as well. So maybe they're just going to work around him. Austin going for all those setups left and right, putting on that constant pressure. Looking to see more of that as well in game 2.
Yeah, the one thing I would point out looking at both the Snakes and the Garbage Men is they've got 1 player each with no saves. And as much as it can be really nice to have somebody who's a really strong striker, if not all of your team can play defense, that's going to leave you really vulnerable when the demolitions start coming out and breaking down your defensive rotations. So if we really need to see Austin and Perma more involved on the defensive side if those teams want to strengthen their position here in game 2.
And we'll see which team's about to come out on top in game number 2 of this best of 5. First one going to the Snakes in a close overtime finish. Austin trying to start things off early. That touch towards the defensive end. Perma almost got the block he needed to push it through and strike true towards the back of the net, but a long booming shot actually going to get over top of the defender. Almost got in the way, but couldn't get the touch he needed as Taroko secured the first goal.
Yeah, a really beautiful dunk from Taroko, and probably not something that he really intended to be a shot, just trying to keep that ball moving down the pitch. But the Garbage Men, right, team in orange, were so pushed up and aggressive on that play that strong pinch clear is able to get all the way in behind the defense, and Garbage Men can't get back in time for it. So that's something that they're going to have to watch, is that when their opponents are coming out to challenge them, you have to have somebody back on defense. Otherwise, you get real slow rollers going in like that from way downtown.
True, and they were just trying to recover from all the pressure that was put on by Austin before, but they got a little bit too antsy on that play, pushed up too far, and then, like here, where was the control on defense? They had plenty of time to get that under control. Taroko with the touch, Perma right there. He delays it a little bit, but instead of just booming it past his net, knew that Taroko would go for the follow-up. He just got a light, soft touch and played into the hands of his opponents.
That one's probably chalked up to a miscommunication there, where he doesn't know where all of the opponents are, and he doesn't know that he can safely clear that thing hard across his own net. So, in that situation with nobody on the other side of the goal, he's got to do something. And if you don't know, you want to try and take that more controlling of a touch. If he knows that the power clear across is safe, that goal probably doesn't happen.
Yeah, and it also looked like a little bit of a mistake on his end in the touch itself, where it was too much power behind that stop instead of just stopping it dead in his tracks right in front of him, so he would have time for that control, as you mentioned. But now they're trying to regain control, take it down the length of the field, and get something going for their side, because they're getting pushed to the brink of extinction. Not just yet, but in this series at least. So they might go down another game, depending on how things go. We're approaching the halfway point of game number 2 of this best of 5. currently down by 2. A lot of way to go for them to try and come back in this game. There's also plenty of time, a potential setup there, but miscommunication again on offense. So they're gonna have to just give another go at it, try something out, because whatever they're doing hasn't been working thus far.
And you really want them to get more out of that opportunity there. They got a pair of demolitions in very quick succession and had control of the ball on the offensive side of the field. You never get a more higher quality opportunity than 3 against 1, and nobody was there to actually put a shot on target against only 1 defender, and that's just not going to cut it at this level. And when you're down by 2 goals, they're starting to panic a little bit. Those demos create good opportunities. You have to get stuff out of those.
We also saw a chance right there where all 3 defenders went for the ball, but nobody was in the right position for a rebound. And right here, almost biting them in the butt again. A great touch by Taroko, dropping it down. 2 defenders going for that one, saving the day for their team. Austin almost got the reception to strengthen the lead even more so. But this is the kind of pressure quality difference between these 2 teams. One, they just throw the ball at them and then they just go back to their side, which is the garbage men. And then with the Snakes, they put on 1 shot, then another shot, then another shot. Even if they miss, they keep going at it until something works out.
Yeah, the Snakes are taking this really wide offensive rotational stance that just allows them to always have somebody ready to challenge that ball when it's on the orange side of the field. And so it just increases that panic defense level that the garbage men are already feeling, down by 2 with only a minute left. Austin going for the air drag again, stuffed down by John Wick. But he doesn't get that clear up and over the defense, and they're still playing defense. They've been for almost a minute, and just no sign of a strong clear anywhere to be seen for the orange team.
Yeah, and just constant pressure being put on, rotating back around, picking up all their boosts, starving them so there's no chance for them to even get that long booming clear they desperately need to try and get some sort of pressure going in their favor. Now Communism gives them an opportunity to try and take control, but even then it rips it away from them. Perma to try and follow through with this one. Still being blocked out by the attackers. It's like they're defending just the midfield line until something like this goes past the defense.
That was almost 2 full minutes of straight offensive pressure from the Snakes. And the garbage men even get a demolition on one of the attackers, which should disrupt rotations enough to get that ball cleared out and relieve some of the pressure. No, not happening. The Snakes just putting on an absolute onslaught of shots. Get the 3rd goal, less than a minute to play, less than half a minute to play now. This should be a secure Game 2 win for them, and they will go into Game 3 on match point, and then be, really just a few minutes away from, having their spot secure if they can win just 1 more game out of their next 3.
And this could also be because Deck XP wasn't really able to play today too. You said you recognized him from before, and he might have been on the main roster for this team, so they could potentially be using a sub for the garbage men. So that might be one of the reasons why they aren't performing to their utmost capabilities. But even then, they kept it close in the first game, lost just in overtime, but this one was just a straight blowout. The Snakes took the lead early, and then were able to just strengthen it left and right, put on that 2 minutes of constant pressure, as you mentioned, and then the garbage men, they just had no answer. They couldn't get a clear like they wanted. Snakes' rotations were so on point where they got the block every time. They even went for something, even unorthodox plays off like the ceiling and everything, still didn't work out. So the garbage men just were out of options there, out of boost as well, and they're about to be out of time in this series specifically if they can't get this next win.
And once again, looking at the garbage men scoreboard, we've got a player with 0 saves. And when your opponents put on 12 shots and you only allowed 3 of them to go in, you need all of your team making saves. And, this time it's Perma instead of, I believe it was Jit the last game. But if you're not getting all of your team involved in all of the phases of the game, you're going to have a hard time winning at this level. So the garbage men have to get their scoreboard balanced out. They have got to figure out how to strike the ball with purpose on defense and make the most of their opportunities, because they had a lot of
They had
good
so many.
opportunities and then just nothing ever came of them.
It was just a simple shot towards the net, and then that's it. They just like, okay, we're giving up. We're going back to our side. Maybe go for a different angle. It's more like solo efforts, which we don't want to see at this level of play. You need that coordination to get the victories, unless you're Austin, who's been doing crazy by himself. But then his teammates are always there to support him. So it's kind of the difference you see between these two teams. But game number 3 starting off hot. It's another shot goes towards the net. Communism got a setup for Austin. He tries to keep it towards the side of the garbage men. A good, not really the greatest of shots actually, towards that back wall. Get with the reception on this play, but the accuracy has just been meters off from that net so many times by the garbage men so far in this specific series. Might be another chance for Communism to strike true. He breaks past the defense after some great disruptive play by Taroko.
And Communism had just started to turn to actually rotate away from that when he saw the very slow play across the net, and he comes whipping in like a banshee to take that opportunity. And that's the start to this thing that the Snakes wanted. Get out to the early lead. They've got 4 minutes now to hold on to it, and then they're one series away from being into next week. This is exactly where they want to be playing from. Make the garbage men nervous, get them making mistakes. Taroko to Austin, now a 2-goal lead in only a minute 5 of Rocket League.
Crazy to see this kind of coordination at this level. You think two teams that are both 1-1 would have like an even chance to get the victory against each other, but it's just not the day of the garbage men. It's all about the Snakes. Tunnel Snakes rule, some might say, as Communism will take control of this ball, take it down the field. And there's a chance for Taroko to try and get in the way of Perma, but a great shot by Perma, or I guess you could say a clear jit almost, sneaking it past the defense. Brendan can't really get the touch he needs. They're back in the same position as last game. A great setup by Communism. Austin trying to get the secure, but it's all up to Taroko now to keep up that pressure. It's another clear by Perma. He's been the main force of, I guess, confidence in defense on this garbage men squad, always going for those clears, even when it seems like he won't be able. Okay, that was very weird that they gave Austin that much space as well, but they were able to gain control again, get some more pressure on. It's looking a little better, but not too great so far for the garbage men.
Yeah, and the garbage men actually, with performing their one of the worst timed demolitions that you can actually have. Jit got a demo on somebody who was all the way back on the orange goal line as they were trying to push the ball up forward. And all you did was actually make it take less time for him to get back into a defensive position. Just because a demolition is there does not mean it's a good idea, but that one from Communism, actually brilliant, just totally disrupting that flow, and now they're back down on the offensive side. Jit gonna clear that one away before there's too much danger. Taroko to Austin, that shot is wide. This is a beautifully constructed sequence from the Snakes. Too bad nothing came of it.
Yeah, and Communism even went for the bump on the goalie, who had to jump out of the way and managed to narrowly avoid that goal from going in, able to get in the way of that one. But still 2-0 is the lead for the Snakes, but might change in a moment's notice if the garbage men are able to keep up this pressure, put on more quality shots. Even then, they only had one member of their team up in the box of the Snakes. Perma put one towards the wall, but gets cleared simply away by Taroko. A potential setup there, but it's been so many potential setups that have just had no potential in receptions by their team members. They haven't been in position so many times for these.
Yeah, there's a total lack of pace from the garbage men. When your opponents are playing that wide stance like the Snakes are doing, you have to outpace them if you want to build up some pressure of your own. And the garbage men just not getting that job done. They're slow and late to the balls. They're getting demoed because they're not moving fast enough. They're just waiting for things to happen. And that's how you score 0 goals in 4 minutes of Rocket League. By being that much slower than your opponents, you will never get those kind of opportunities. A good save from John Wick. Taroko going to be a little upset at himself for that placement there, as he had a lot of net to shoot at and just picked the one wrong place for it.
True, but even after all of the placements they've been putting towards the net and them being saved at the last moment by the Garbage Men, they still have that 2-goal lead. Still, that the Garbage Men have to worry about and overcome. They weren't able to do it last game, and they got scored on again after that. Might see that happen by Austin, who gets a touch. Perma barely getting the way as Jit has to go for a hero save moment for his team. Got that one in the way of Taroko. Austin, clear of his own towards Communism. Drops it down, not enough power behind that one. Perma misses the touch, and that leaves it wide open for Austin.
And that is almost surely the dagger. It is definitely possible to score 3 goals in 18 seconds, but the quality
I would like to see it.
With the quality of opportunities that we've been seeing from the Garbage Men, which you might say is garbage quality, I don't think that is going to happen.
Well, they did get one. They're trying to prove it.
You know, I could be totally wrong. What do I know about Rocket League?
They want to overcome and beat Communism on the other side of the team, but they're gonna have to put a lot of legwork in to secure those 2 goals and get that overtime if they want the victory. 12 seconds now for the Garbage Men to come back. Jit pops it up into the air. Austin just simply knocked it to the side, actually setting up his teammate for a great clear. 3 seconds, dropping down to 0, and no chances for the Garbage Men to come back. It will be the Snakes taking the victory 3-0 against the Garbage Men.
Yep, and you know, surprising myself a little bit with, you know, being able to not fully know who the best team was coming into this, and still
I didn't know
to get the early prediction right. A very good game from the Snakes. They gave up some early pressure to the Garbage Men. The Garbage Men took the first goal of that series.
Exactly.
But the Snakes make all of the adjustments that they need to, and even though they put on the same number of shots as the Garbage Men here, the Snakes were always in control in Game 3, and they were always in control in Game 2. It's really just the opening moments that the Garbage Men showed the signs of life that they were going to make this competitive. The Snakes just too fast and too clean on their rotations. It got the Garbage Men rattled, and then they were not ready to deal with it. But we are going to take a short 5-minute break as we get our next and final match of the evening prepared. So don't go anywhere. We're going to have another great matchup for you. I believe we're moving into round 3.
Yes,
we'll
we
let
are.
you know as soon as we come back. So we'll see you in just a few minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go anywhere.
Cause I play to win. You fear that love is hard to find. Not in your heart, but in your mind. Are we playing this game? Are we playing this game? Are you too afraid? Or are you giving in? Let the games begin. 'Cause I play to win. right to win.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I did suggest the possibility of a third round match, and we do indeed have it. We are going to RBG Esports and the Peeps. This is an incredible matchup. RBG made it to the top 8 in last month's NA Monthly, and the Peeps are an RLRS team. So we have got two extremely high quality teams ready to duke it out, both of them looking to remain undefeated. The winner of this secures their spot in the top 32, so they will play next week and they will earn points towards the final match, the final event in February. So a lot on the line here for one of these teams. Nobody, out of it, pack it up, go home if they lose this. But this is
gonna be so
going to be
awesome.
Fantastic. And what better place to have it than DFH? Vaudable, what are you looking for?
I'm just so excited for these two teams to face off against each other. The Peeps didn't really do the greatest last time. I believe they just had some DQs and ended up 23rd in the Swiss system, happening over on Project Phoenix. But RBG Esports, for those who know that I interviewed on my own show, they made top 8 of Project Phoenix, which shocked a lot of people. They didn't think they would actually qualify immediately out of that Swiss system last go around. So now they're back. They're trying to get more points, maybe get that victory for the Fall Frenzy, get the first place in the auto qualification for the Renegade Cup Finals. That'll be happening in February, as you mentioned. But you wanted me to talk about these teams and what predictions I might want to make, and I feel like this is going to be a bit of a toss-up. The RBG Esports looks so good. We haven't seen much of the Peeps recently, so it's too close to call, honestly.
I mean, the Peeps went 3rd place in
True.
RLRS, so this is a team that is, just this close to being on some of the biggest stages that exist for Rocket League. So I think it would be irresponsible to count the Peeps out.
I'm not counting them out. I'm just saying it's going to be really close on this one.
Absolutely. RBG has definitely been putting the work in. The Renegade Cup is a huge event, and coming out and showing up for it putting in good performances means that they are a hungry team that is looking to move up in the world. So RBG has more to prove here because the Peeps have kind of already proven it. So look for, if the Peeps start to fall complacent, that's when RBG could come through and take advantage. If the Peeps have showed up to play, though, it's all going to be on them to assert their dominance from the high level that they know how to play.
They've been playing with the big boys for such a long time now. They had that full Rival Series season to train and gain experience. RBG Esports didn't really make it as far as they would have wanted for the qualifiers of that, but I feel like they're going to be one of the teams to look out for next go around, especially due to their most recent results. The car, we've seen them all over the bubble scene happening in the old Nexus tournament days when we used to host 1v1s, just taking the victory against names like Taroko and names like First Killer. You used to just smash all the tournament brackets and just get those victories. But also want to talk about Nexus and Thunder. Both of them have been around for quite some time as well. Thunder has been in the scene. I believe is actually on the Boost Legacy, or I think, yeah, Boost Legacy team at one point when they had an actual team going on. But now we are getting into our first game of this best of 5. 5 minutes on the clock, and Thunder already getting furious on the offensive side. Getting some demos and bumps out of the way. Trying to set up his RBG Esports brethren for some more opportunities. Arsenal take that one into the corner. Thunder sending it back towards them. Gyro didn't really have too much he could do.
Gyro?
It's Gyro. We're not going into this situation. There's been so many times where this has happened on broadcast where it's like, is it Gyro, is it Gyro? He says Gyro is fine, but it can also be Gyro. He said it on Twitter. He said it in the Rival Series broadcast, every single place. But it is Gyro that we're going to stick with for this broadcast, as Arsenal had a shot towards the net.
Yeah, and a good opportunity, very even start to this thing so far. Arsenal with the first and only shot so far on the board. And this is the kind of back and forth that we expect to see out of two very good teams. Neither want to get overcommitted and leave themselves open to silly opportunities that they don't need to let in, but they're still feeling each other out, trying to find where the cracks are. Arsenal, a beautiful opportunity placed just a bit wide. He's going to be upset at himself for missing that one.
And you mentioned it before, nobody really wanting to send two players towards the net at one time. They don't want to overcommit on those plays. We saw Arsenal, the only one there, could have been a rebound opportunity for the members of the Peeps to get that early lead against their opponents. But now Gyro hit that into the corner. Ajax with a great touch does set up the car for a good clear. Arsenal towards the side wall and buys some time for Gyro to try and get in the way. Good touch by Ajax, setting up Gyro, dropping it down, an opportunity, but they can't get it past Nexus as it goes by the wayside.
I really like that midfield play there from Gyro, but the turnaround not going to come out. I was just about to talk about how good the Peeps midfield play was, and then they get completely turned around in the transition, and RBG, after 2 minutes, takes the first goal. Just a boomer from the midfield. Nexus getting credit for the goal, despite nobody getting credit for the shot.
Pretty crazy to see how the series of events unfolded right as you were mentioning the midfield play that we've seen out of the Peeps. That was the one moment where they were weak, and that's exactly where RBG Esports were able to capitalize on that play and secure the goal. But now, as we approach have reached halftime, it's another chance for Arsenal to take command of the play. It will be Ajax trying to get a setup. Let's get cleared towards the midfield, and actually an opportunity for the car. Has to give that up after the great defense again on the midfield line by the Peeps. A big booming shot saved by Thunder to the corner. Again, more shots going wide by the Peeps, but none on target yet. Might be an opportunity here for Thunder. Put some pressure on. Arsenal with a great clear off that back wall. Nexus just sends it right back towards them. Nobody in net right now, but Gyro actually goes right past it, gives it up to Nexus to take it home.
There is definitely such a thing as being too patient here, and that's exactly what we see from Gyro. He slows down, trying to make sure that he can get this read right, and leaves a window for Noxus to shoot through. That is 2 goals now in Noxus's credit on 1 shot, because he's actually Superman. And, you know, with as little offensive pressure as the Peeps are putting on, and now a 3rd goal against them, I'm not sure that I have to consider them the favorites in this anymore. They've got better historical results, but they're losing right now.
It's these counterattacks that keep being timed perfectly by RBG Esports. They notice exactly when there's no chance for the offense to rotate back towards their side. They get the touch at the midfield line twice now to break past the defense. And again, we see all 3 members going up with that super aggressive style. It's just been biting them in the butt time after time after time to result in those 3 goals. But if you're RBG Esports, you still got to be careful. There is time for the Peeps to come back, and they've been able to make those deficits happen in less time.
Yeah, the Peeps definitely not out of this. A minute can feel like an eternity in Rocket League. Once you get that first one, you start to build that momentum back. But they're going to have to figure out how to get Ajax and Gyro more involved in the attack.
Wow.
Ajax with a Superman save. It doesn't matter though. Nox is completing his hat trick, taking that one off of the keeper. And Ajax heroics were for naught.
Oh.
Hero can't get the 2nd effort save.
Very unfortunate for Ajax, actually bouncing off the butt end of his car and back towards the net. Eventually the secure coming in by Noxus, but this game is all but over for the Peeps. This big of a deficit in the way they have been playing it thus far. They could get some garbage time goals, you could say, as Stacks likes to call it sometimes. But that might just help them in the momentum going into the next game, because they haven't really had much of it this time, as they've had plenty of shots, but Noxus has plenty more shots and even more goals.
Nox is trying to make the highlight reel, or maybe Rocket Dailies here, coming off the ceiling. He doesn't get the flip reset though, so I don't think you're getting on the dailies with that one.
So close.
It's almost mandatory now that if you want to be on the dailies, you have to get a flip reset. Like, I don't even think they allow other goals on there anymore. But, you know, the Peeps will take whatever kind of goal they can get at this point. 4.5 minutes, and they've done nothing but watch the ball soar into their own net. And I have to think it comes down to Ajax and Gyro not being involved enough. 5 shots for Arsenal, only 1 each for Ajax and Gyro. It's just not going to cut it if you only send 1 person to actually be putting shots on target.
So one thing to note, we brought up history of the Peeps briefly before going into this matchup, saying, oh, they have more history playing against rival series level teams and getting good results. They got 3rd, and they're still going to be in the rival series next go around. But one thing to note is that Gyro himself tweeted back when they lost their matches to disqualify themselves from getting into that promo tournament. Well, not really disqualify, but ruin their chances into getting that. Gyro wasn't really feeling too good. He didn't have the greatest play this game as well. He wasn't really working together with his teammates like he has in past matches before. So maybe he's still in that kind of a slump like he was before in those final matches in the rival series itself. So that might be coming into play for the Peeps. They might just have to grind through all of this, but it could just be those game 1 jitters as well that they've been facing.
Yeah, game 1 jitters, burnout. There's a lot of mental focus that is required for playing high-level Rocket League. And it's, you know, something that doesn't always get talked about enough, especially if you're playing at that high of a level for that long. You really have to protect yourself against the burnout. And, you know, maybe he just hasn't been feeling it, and that's why they're not putting all of the effort in that we would want to see from them. And so hopefully he gets some time to relax as we come up on the holiday breaks, and we can see him come back and really push the Peeps to the level that we know they can play at, because that's the only way you get 3rd in RLRS is by playing at a very high level.
Yeah, even Team Secret on the European side, who's just been a staple in the Rivals series. They didn't even manage to get top 2 this go around. They are still a great team who has the results and have proven themselves time and time again against the top players and the top dogs in the RLCS. But now we go into game 2 of this best of 5 in the 3rd round of the Swiss system for Fall Frenzy. So we'll have to see exactly how the Peeps fare, if they're able to bring things back under control and get it to a tie series score, or if RBG Esports will just run away with it. To remind you guys, both these two teams are 2-0 currently. Just need one more to make it into that top 32 and guarantee themselves some of those points.
And just because a win here guarantees you getting into the points for the monthly and, you know, getting into the next round, that doesn't mean you can just slack off once you get that 3rd win, because the wins that you get here will affect not only getting into the next round, but you are seeding in the next round, and you want to get up and get an easier seed. Ajax scoring the first goal of the series for the Peeps right there. A beautiful setup from Arsenal coming off the sidewall. That's the kind of play I thought we were going to see from them in the first game, and it was disappointing not to. So happy to see them finally connecting on their horizontal play across the field.
And this is the start that they needed as well. They were just down in the dumps last game, weren't really able to put too much pressure on to RBG Esports. Even after all the shots, they just weren't quality like we had happen in the last series with the Garbage Men. Now they have that lead, really just need to hold on to it at this point. They want that second game to go their way and tie things up in this best of 5 series. A great block by Thunder, with even greater save by Ajax. He got demoed by the car, who could have easily tied things up for RBG Esports. Now all up to Gyro. It's outplayed by the car. Arsenal pushes it through. Right over top of one towards the crossbar. Can't get it past the last one. The car is desperately trying to clear this away. They managed to get it in towards the midfield line. Another touch by Nexus, and it will go towards the way of Ajax as he has a touch and won't lead to anything just yet.
Not enough pressure coming out from the Peeps, in my opinion. They've had that ball down there floating in the corner and just do nothing. But that's the pressure you like to see. Gyro kicking it out of the corner right to his homie Ajax, who perfectly snipes that thing. He sees the car set up way in the back of the net, so he knows he just has to put it far enough away that car can't get out and actually deal with it. A perfectly struck shot, all the velocity in the world, and at exactly the place where it needed to be. That's more of what we need to see. Ajax just sniping him in there.
Exactly. You couldn't have said it better. Instead of Gyro just being the point man and trying to get all those goals for his team, he's been setting up Ajax for those opportunities. It's working perfectly for them so far. Almost able to pinch that off the ground and in. Would have been a Rocket Dailies-esque goal again if that did work out. But Thunder trying to take this by himself the distance. Will be stopped out by Gyro. A great bump in midair on the car, who could have gotten a touch there. Ajax sets it up for Arsenal. Now has to take it by himself. Gets some boost along the way and gives it up to Ajax again, who loses the 50-50. They still try to keep it away from the center of their box. Gyro, an opportunity for a clear here towards the midfield line, as Ajax follows up right behind him. Now an opportunity for Arsenal off the wall past Nexus. Back towards that midfield line yet again with a big booming clear towards the Peeps end.
We've seen a couple times in the last minute or so where the RBG Esports has been able to get the ball back behind all 3 members of the Peeps. And we saw that in the first game, the difference being that now that the Peeps are playing ahead in this game, it is okay for them to be pushed up and playing a little more aggressively like that, because now the pressure is on RBG and they're just not handling it super well. Gyro does not have the double tap or the pass. That one's going to come for naught. But they are doing a beautiful job of ticking this clock away. Now less than a minute to play, and we've only had 3 shots from RBG and just not really getting them on target or creating the same kind of pressure that they were last game.
They've just been zoning the other side. The Peeps have been doing that quite spectacularly. They've been putting the shots on that they need, going back towards their end, making sure they're in position so they aren't getting those overcommits like they did last game. I don't think there's been a single moment where there has been a counterattack opportunity for RBG Esports, and that goes to show the strength of the Peeps. Once they have everything under control, they're able to run with it and proves that they are the RLR's caliber as Ajax puts it through.
Beautiful touch here, coming from a very weird demo situation where all three members of the Peeps are all grouped up together, and then they just explode out in different directions. The ball goes somewhere crazy, and Ajax finds the touch he needs to secure the hat trick and probably the game here. This one, a very, very different game from what we saw in one. We will go to a 1-1. Oh, maybe not. 7 seconds left. This one's not over. Here I was thinking the dagger had already been drawn, but a well-timed pair of demos lets Thunder drag them kicking back into game 2.
Ooh, and you mentioned it, 7 seconds. It is possible if they get 2 quick kickoff goals, but it is going towards their side and going to be inevitable for, oh my goodness. The own goal happening to put that final nail in the coffin. Very unfortunate, but a great freestyle play by Gyro, getting that past one, and then Thunder. Great assist on that one too.
Yeah, Gyro doing a really good job of controlling that. He doesn't want to get up there and hit that thing super early, because if he puts a lot of velocity on it, he leaves himself open to the counterattack. So he just kind of shadows behind that ball, not even actually touching it until the very end. And by delaying that touch, it creates that, you know, weird own goal situation. A solid game 2 win for the Peeps to tie this thing back up. So we go into game 3 all even, looking at a completely different series than where we were at the end of the first game.
It's going to be nice to see how these two teams face up against each other when they're evened up like this. We saw the vulnerabilities of the Peeps happen in game 1, where they all committed a little too much on offense. We're rearing to go and get this match over with and then go into day 2 of the Swiss system. So we'll have the final 3 rounds, but now we are at a tied up situation between these two teams. Game number 3, as you mentioned, this will be for chance of having one more game potentially between the victor of this one and getting towards the next stage of the Fall Frenzy Renegade Cup monthly tournament. For the North American side, the Peeps are feeling the pressure in the midfield. Ajax towards the corner. Nexus clears it back. There's a lot slower pace so far compared to the last, but a great setup. Almost own goal by Nexus, but saved by Thunder.
A couple of really good passes and shots coming out from the Peeps here at the opening minute of this thing, but some solid defensive work by RBG to keep those things out of harm's way. If it continues like that, I would anticipate the Peeps taking game 2 right here, game 3, their second win. But, you know, there's so much in the counter adjustment game where we saw Peeps do what they needed to pull out a win. Now it's a question of, what does RBG have to do to get back to their game 1 success?
Ooh, a double whiff, a whifty as some casters would call that one, as a member of each side. Actually, Jorby would like to call that one. But into the corner for the Peeps to have a good shot of this one off the back wall, dropped down by Arsenal, but it could have also been Gyro there. He did get the assist because they both went for that one, but, you know, the teamwork and coordination actually pulled through in the end.
Yeah, great setup from somebody. Great setup to get that ball
Arsenal,
in the
I think,
center.
had the setup.
Yeah, Arsenal. That's who it was. Arsenal, a perfectly placed pass. And you know what they say?
I'm mistaken. It was Ajax who got the setup on that one. Arsenal was the one who set it up with Gyro.
Yep. Teamwork, though, makes the dream work. And sometimes you send all the people at the ball and just hope for the best. Not punished on that one. And now with the lead, all the momentum on their side, they're definitely going to want to continue the pummeling, controlling game that they played in game 2, but they've got to make sure that they don't get complacent and start dropping this to RBG, who's going to be real hungry to claw back in.
And they know at this point they have to put on the pressure just like that. They needed to secure their Thunder. Was a bit too patient on that play. Should have followed up with it. Put the pressure on. Made sure there's no chance for them to get that save off the crossbar, even if there's a chance for it to go in. Because once you are a bit too hesitant on those kind of plays, you're not going to get them again. You're going to regret it at that moment that you weren't able to secure the tie game that they desperately needed this point.
Hesitation is the real mind killer in Rocket League, because if you think you've got the opportunity but you wait just a little bit too long, the opportunity is gone. You're never going to get it back, and then you've let the other team know that you're not confident in yourself in that situation, and they will see that weakness and look to brutally exploit it. So you really have to be confident in your abilities and go for things. Thunder takes a shot, but it was saved by the car. No good chance on this counterattack opportunity, as Gyro can't get there in time to get it passed over and into the net.
Very unfortunate event coming out by RBG Esports, but they just couldn't get out of the way in time to secure that goal. And there was also nobody in position for the rebound on that play. But now there's a great touch by Arsenal, sneaking past the last defender, set up by Ajax yet again. Just a quick 1-2 punch to strengthen that lead.
The Peeps showing a beautiful ability to delay their touches and draw defenders out. Then they get their strong touch at the last second that the defense just isn't fully ready to deal. That's exactly what happened on that pass there from Ajax, and it creates a lot of good opportunities for Arsenal to come out and take a good shot on it. That is expertly crafted direct passing from them, and that's the type of plays we expect from the RLRS teams.
Now with only 1 minute and 7 seconds remaining, they're put even more shots on the net. Just have fun at this point. It looked like Ajax actually got the block on that one towards their side. Now Gyro just playing with his food on the defensive end of RBG Esports. 52 seconds, another shot coming in. They are playing their A game at this moment as Arsenal got the hat trick.
Yeah, Gyro doesn't have any boost really to continue following that one up, but the defender doesn't fully know that, and so he's sitting there waiting for that touch because Gyro has delayed so many times, and then because of that hesitation, it creates the opportunity for Arsenal to get his hat trick on, and now we're once again less than a minute to play, and the Peeps in a 3-goal lead, almost 4, but Arsenal's a little wide. Here comes the counterattack from RBG.
Ooh, and a great demo on the defender, but not enough to break past Arsenal as he got that one off the back wall. Another great touch by Nexus. They are throwing everything they can at this ball, but not enough as it goes right past them on the midfield line. Arsenal again pushing the issue on offense, but Thunder will be able to sneak one past 8 seconds. There was a possibility last time and it went by the wayside, but this might be the chance for RBG Esports to bring things back with 2 quick kickoff goals.
I've seen Brazil's overcome in under a minute before. I will never call a game finished again before it is actually finished, but it's just so unlikely at this point that that's what we're going to see. The clock going to strike 0 on a Peeps win. They will go into game 4 with the series in their control. Woo. And definitely looking good for it. There were some moments at the very beginning where it looked like RBG might come out and take command of this thing, but they readjusted themselves like you expect from a high-quality team, and the Peeps able to find it all in the second half of this thing. The direct passing, just perfect.
Been on point. It's amazing to see the way these teams are able to adapt as the series progresses. We saw this happen in the rival series as well compared to the teams that didn't qualify, which was like RBG Esports. The ability to adapt to any situation that is thrown at you is crucial for these top-level teams. And we haven't really seen that out of RBG Esports thus far. We didn't really see it happen when they were in a top 8 situation in Project Phoenix that happened last time for one of the North American Renegade Cup monthlies. So now it's all up to that adaptability to see if RBG Esports can actually bring themselves back into this, change up their playstyle, because they haven't been given goals like they were in the first game, where there's all those counterattack opportunities, and they need to change things up if they want to stay alive and get that victory, get the 3-0 in the Swiss bracket system, Turmoil, and hopefully move on without having to play more matches tomorrow as we get into a potential final game for these two teams. The Peeps facing off against RBG Esports only need one more victory to take the 3-1 against RBG Esports. As we get to the first kickoff underway, and Thunder takes it right underneath one of the defenders and almost towards the net, but beams it towards the post and instead has to go for another pass to try and set up his teammates. Very unfortunate there for Thunder.
If I'm RBG Esports right now, I am keen on what Arsenal is doing. He had 8 shots, more than twice as many as anybody else on the field. And so they have got to find a way to neutralize Arsenal's impact on the game. And we've seen him both passing and shooting at different points of this thing. So they have to figure out how to get him maybe literally off the field. Stick a guy and just tell him to glue himself to Arsenal and prevent him from doing things, because Arsenal is just ruining RBG's night tonight.
Well, even if it is Arsenal getting all the secures on these plays, it's been Ajax setting him up every time. He's always in position, so they have to worry about him as well. And then you can't knock out Gyro, who's been more of like a third man in these past 2 games to kind of support their efforts to secure goals, almost like that one was saved by Nexus. But Ajax again pushing the issue, does get knocked towards their side for Gyro to try and take it down the length of the field over top of Thunder. Does get a touch, but right into Gyro's clutches, sets it up for Arsenal off that back wall. Ajax with a touch himself, barely saved by Thunder.
Yeah, there are no weak links on the Peeps team right now. All 3 of them doing their part to secure things. Ajax not finding an actual shot there, just lofts it up. But he's getting in the way and keeping this ball on the offensive side of the pitch. That will eventually have to spell doom for RBG. They need more opportunities, and when the ball's on their side of the field, they are just not going to get them created. It doesn't really work like that for this RBG team.
Yeah, they haven't been able to get those long booming clears that we've seen Arsenal do so many times. With that nice setup between 2 attacking members of RBG Esports. Demo preventing any lasting pressure on offense. As Nexus got a block, but not enough to push it out of their end. Ajax with a back pass to Gyro, a bit too powerful after the pinch. Gyro gets another clear straight towards Thunder into the corner. Arsenal into the air. Nexus can't get the touch he wants, but clears it towards the other end of midfield. Tries to keep it out of the clutches of the Peeps. Feel like this game is all going to come down to who gets that first goal. If it's the Peeps, they're just going to run away with it again. If it is RBG Esports, they're still going to have to work for that victory based on the results we've seen happen in the last 3 games.
Even though the scoreline in this one is still tied up at 0s, the shots are tied up at 0s, this has been a game commanded by the Peeps so far. Most of the time has ticked away with the ball on the orange side of the field and the blue team touching it. There have not been the amount of touches on the ball that RBG Esport wants if they're going to inflict their will upon the Peeps, and they have got to figure out how to get down and control this thing if they want to win. That one's off. The double's not there, but Thunder coming through, cleaning that thing up. He takes the lead, 1:28 left to play. Now, how are the Peeps going to respond to this one?
An amazing demo by Nexus, then the setup by the car, and the finish by Thunder, striking true into the back of the net, getting that lead. And that is the question on everyone's mind. How are they gonna take a goal and tie things up and then potentially get that victory they are vying for? So they only need one more. Peeps would have to get another one after this one. They hold on to this lead. We are approaching the 1 minute remaining mark, and the pressure is not stopping there by RBG Esports. To the corner though for Gyro. Thunder will meet him. Will be assisted by Ajax on that clear, popped up into the air. Gyro and Arsenal both going for it. Gyro was quick enough, but not fast enough to get past Thunder, but Ajax sneaks it into the upper 90 and ties things up.
This is a beautifully placed shot from Gyro, and Thunder does an incredible job to save it. Unfortunately, he doesn't do a good job of clearing it away, and none of his teammates are there to support him. That is basic things that you learn at the gold level, is that if you can't make the save and the clear, your teammate has to be there to do it for you, and that is a very costly mistake as it ties things back up and could cost them the series if the next goal goes in favor of the Peeps.
As you mentioned, only a little more than 30 seconds remain. A great pop-up and a great pop out of the way. It's all they need for the goal. Gets the secure set up by Ajax yet again. Great coordination by these two masterminds on the Peeps.
This is a savage bump on the part of Ajax to push that thing through, open that up for Arsenal. That ball maybe goes in if Arsenal doesn't touch it anyway, and then Ajax gets credit for the goal. But in our hearts, we're giving Ajax credit for that goal because that bump was brutal and opened that thing up for the Arsenal finish. Absolutely superb way to finish this thing out. Now they only have to hold it for 10 more seconds.
What an insane goal to secure that lead. As you mentioned, only 10 seconds remain, but that doesn't matter for the Peeps. They're going to put another dagger through, and a great setup by Gyro.
3 seconds is not fast enough to close a 2-goal lead, and with that powerful and accurate shot, Arsenal has secured the Peeps a spot into the next round of this. They will earn points towards the Renegade Cup as a whole. We will definitely see them next week, but we might get to see some more of them tomorrow as well. So we can't act like this thing is over, even though this game and series are over. The Peeps, an incredible job, but we still have a whole second night of Swiss action coming up tomorrow, and my body is ready.
Oh, I'm so pumped for those. We'll probably see more of RBG Esports as they are still going to be looking to get their one more victory, all they need for these teams. For those who don't know how Swiss systems work, there is going to be 6 rounds. We've done 3 so far today, so 3 more tomorrow. 4, 5, and 6, exclamation point bracket. Follow along with that. But there's still chances for your favorite teams who didn't do so well today to try and come back and get those 3 wins and make it into the next stage of this Fall Frenzy North American Renegade Cup Monthly. It's just going to be great to see how these teams proceed in the next matches. But great victory by the Peeps. Those last 2 goals just cemented their spot in the next stage, which is going to be the round robin mayhem. That'll be happening next week.
Yeah, just a fantastic finish for them, in control of that game, and especially games 2 and 3 almost the whole way through. Really well executed from them. But that is going to do it for us tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We will be back tomorrow at 7 p.m. Eastern with rounds 4, 5, and 6 of our Swiss System Turmoil. You guys are not going to want to miss it, as we're going to get more teams pushed forward into the next week of the system. We're going to figure out the seeding for next week's system, which will be some group play action. It's going to be a lot of fun. I will be back, and we will catch you guys tomorrow night.